chat.
It happened.
He brought me things, but I can't show you. You guys aren't gonna know. Everyone is talking in Turkish right now, so I have no idea what's actually going on. This is it.
Hopefully it's all good things, right?
I mean, I don't care. I don't know what they're saying. It doesn't hurt my feelings. Oh, that guy keeps honking at me. He's got a big jacked up truck. They keep like driving around here. I'm attracting a lot of attention. I set up.
Again, as the hentai meta on Twitch is over, now we have the censor bar meta. Dextero tweeted out this clip with the caption, Twitch streamers are testing their limits by using censor bars. Dextero tweeted out this clip with the caption.
Are you serious? Hmm. Mm-hmm. Come on. 9. Sure. Mm-hmm. Hello. Hi. Oh, it's juicy, baby. All right. Hello, people. Oh, that's hilarious.
Fuck you!
All right, chat. Hello. How are we doing? Welcome to the last versus chat of the year before 2024. Let's get motherfuckers together. Remember? I would suggest for everybody who wants to be involved, if you would like to be on the broadcast, you need to pile into the green room inside the server so that we can drag you in as time goes on. We've got a lot of things to do. No, Variety Canary is not open for people to jump into. You need to have a role to come in. I have to assign it to you. Because you see, some people have done some naughty shit. They're on Carl's shit list. Some people have been coming through. We've had raids. We've had stalkers. We've had assholes. So we've had to update some shit. That's going to also then get re-updated in the new year. If you would like to jump into the call, we are going to pull you in. Because now we have to have people on the P's and Q's. Later, all there is to it. Well, we're going to go over the major's case details because I'm annoyed about that shit and the implications it now has on Merle. Then we're going to talk somewhat extensively about the Twitch slut meta currently unraveling, how it's not just being abused, but how Twitch as a company doesn't understand what is happening on its own site. Then we can wrap up the stream by watching our playlist fully from last night. Because already you want to come on to the last versus the year. Hello, Harvey. How are you doing? Can you speak, my son? Probably not, honestly. Can you speak now, my son? Probably not there. Oh, you see, there was a shit raid last night of like 3 people trying to harass me about the finals, and they were incapable of completing a lie that did not work out for them. It was a whole fucking thing. It was a mess. A fucking mess. And then, of course, multiple raids before. Individuals just jumping in the middle of the broadcast to try and spam out words, etc., etc., etc. Mm-hmm.
Check, check. 1, 2. Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Hey, it finally works.
Alright, where is this article that I pulled up?
So what's the hat?
Because I'm almost certain that this article is not going to be fully censored, so I have to probably pull it out myself. Dexter, so... Garbage. This is this. Recent change. This is the updated post. Certainly you all have more shit about this. You must, because you have nothing else to talk about. Uh-huh. 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 Hopefully, I could even just go over that and that would work. I can only pray. Fucking Christ. All shit, chat. All shit. No, it's good. It's all shit.
It's a 15-layer shit souffle.
Waiting for two of our guests to arrive. You time to wake up, or are you good to go? Again, if you would like to be on the broadcast, you need to go to the green room so that we can drag you into the server and give you the proper permissions. Technically, the show will start properly in about a minute, but it is what it is. Welcome, Aiden.
Hello.
Are you ready?
Hi there.
Are you ready to
How's
talk?
it going? I guess so. Man, I was up all fucking night. So I don't know. Like, I'm in a weird mood. Whenever I do that, which I always hate when I do it. Like, that's the thing. Like, I have fun when I stay up all night, and then I always regret it the next day. Because I slept till 5 p.m. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the evening. Because I was up till 10. Fuck.
See, I was up last night watching back the AMC Interview of the Vampire playlist with Jay.
Oh, nice.
My wife pulled into the driveway with a hot and ready pizza and a story to tell. So I had to let Jay know that we will finish doing the videos today. Because I knew I wanted to
go for a little Caesar's pizza.
Yeah, because I knew I wanted to do a VsChat before the year ended, but I did not want to do it on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Because this Twitch meta needed to be discussed, and also I needed to talk about the fucking Majors trial, because that is some bullshit, and the sheer fucking amount of cope around not just Marvel's decision, which is retarded, but also around the sheer comparison.
Wait, what has Marvel decided to do over Jonathan Majors? They're keeping him in?
No, they're parting with him. They that bitch ass waited until they had a verdict on hand, which I guess is okay, but really it's not, because how the fuck can you say he's guilty?
No, I actually agree with that, because it's innocent until proven guilty. That is the standard by the court, and that's what we keep asking for, that standard to be held to people on the right. When people on the right get canceled for, like, I don't know, saying a naughty word or having the wrong opinion or something, and they get fired from their job. No, I think that you should be convicted in a court of law before companies take action against you like that.
The thing that I don't like
over allegations.
The thing that I don't like it, and the thing that Jay doesn't like it, because Jay and I both kept up with this story, but I know she kept up a lot more than I did. The sheer amount of evidence that exonerates the idea of, oh, he was an angry black man beating on his white girlfriend. No, she was the abusive one. He was actively running away from her. There's tapes of him walking.
Majors was.
Yes, Majors was running away.
Oh, see,
from
I don't know
her.
anything about the case.
Ah, see, that's the thing. Not a lot of people do. They just saw the fucking headlines, and it's like,
yeah, that's all.
I
saw the headlines, and I was like, well, fuck.
Like months back, when this first was reported, there were people giving the two-handed takes of, if he did it, he did it. But at the same time, if he didn't, let my act. And at the same time, they kind of sat on the fence, deciding which side they would go with whichever one had the most views. And I don't feel okay about that shit. simply because the evidence exonerates the idea of this narrative that they created before anything was even made public. And then as more details came through, as more evidence was shown through discovery, as more things happened on the stand, when she was absolutely just missing from the country, when they needed to go through pre-trial details before the case even properly went to court, they basically said, he's guilty, it doesn't matter. Marvel was already making that position where it's like, well, see, if he's guilty, what are we going to do with Avengers 5? And now that they've decided to go with, we will not work with him again. So they're just going to basically pivot and destroy their fucking franchise further. So all those people who were looking forward to hearing and seeing Loki, so sorry, I guess you don't get to have that. Welcome, Jay. So sorry, you don't get to see, you don't get to see Majors. Welcome, Jay. Hi. You don't get to see Majors.
I didn't know anything about the case itself, so that's interesting. Because I mean, that's my fault. Normally, I'm really suspicious of that shit, but I was just like, oh, because I saw the headlines. It was like, oh, that sounds real bad. But of course, I was very when the Johnny Depp stuff happened. I looked into that, so I guess it's just that I didn't know much about this case. Whereas the Johnny Depp thing, I mean, I watched that whole trial. Did they air the trial for
parts
Majors?
of it? I don't.
They did?
No. I don't think no. Not for
I don't think they can live stream a trial in New York City.
Oh, okay. That's
they
probably
it
because I mean, Jesus Christ, my
they
God,
need to.
the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. It was every day on like Ricada just tuning in and being like, I'm gonna spend all day watching this trial. It's must see TV. Like I gotta see this shit, which I've never done before. I did it with the Rittenhouse trial too. I watched all of that like voraciously. But oh my God, I couldn't turn off that Depp Heard thing. Fuck.
It's a very important thing that we need to just start making it. We need to start making it better to when we have a case that needs to be watched, it needs to be live streamed. These platforms have to know. They have to know that people are watching. Because not only is it important for people to watch, it's important for people to see exactly how their behavior is handled and how the public changes their opinion based on who they think is getting the most attention. Because there is an element to it where people are only going to watch for the drama factor. And there are people that don't care about the entertainment industry, whatever. They would like to see the thing fucking burn.
Oh, of course. And I mean, I understand the argument against televising them because it does force, it does turn it into a spectacle, doesn't it? But all of this stuff is spectacle anyway. So I think all trials should probably be televised or recorded and streamed. Because I don't know if you've seen like just small court cases. Sometimes
I've experienced my own.
Hilarious.
I've experienced my own case.
Oh, some of that shit. So it was just. I don't even know who I was watching. It was just one of the law tubers, and they were just watching like these small little like court streams. And some of the shit was so funny. I mean, just the stuff that all these people representing themselves and stuff, and it's just like, oh my God, I love it. I think it's great. I love seeing that stuff. It's but it's also important. It's also like I think seriously important for public interest, particularly when it's these big cases involving someone like Majors, And now I don't know about. See, I didn't know the specifics at all. I didn't know, not even the specifics. I didn't know anything about the Majors case. I just know what I saw from the headlines, which is that like, oh, he's an abuser. But doesn't sound like that was really the truth.
No.
This man's starring next to fucking. This man's starring in shit like fucking Lovecraft Country. He does not have a aggressive bone in his body when it comes to him doing work. And I don't think when it came up in this case that. I'm not even sure necessarily what precipitated the violence on her part, but I'm pretty sure it was an argument, and then, because there was a video of this, it was an argument that happened. She tried getting handsy with him. He walked away from her in public.
She claimed to have seen a text, like that he was like, apparently he was getting texts from a other chick he was fucking. She got jealous, went for the phone, and then started like attacking him. That's what, at least that's what the guy, the driver, was saying. Like, yeah, she was doing everything, and he was just like basically taking it from her because what the fuck else is he gonna do? And then like they stopped the car like 2 or 3 fucking times. Like he got out, and to get away from her, and then like just went out, got the fuck out of there. She followed, and I think they caught up with the car again and got back in, and then the fight started up again, and they stopped it again, and then that's when I'm fuzzy on this, but I think that's when like he started running away from the bitch because she.
It's
was
very
just,
common. You know, there's a perception that men are more interpersonally violent in relationships than women, but they're actually the violence rates are almost exactly the same. It's just that the types of violence are different. Men tend to be fists, you know, hands. Women tend to throw stuff. Women tend to, and in fact, women are more likely to like chase after the person that their interpersonal partner. So it's just a lot, and because I covered it actually in a video I did about the Amber Heard situation, was and they like I mean obviously she was the abusive one, but it's easy to turn it around because it's like, oh, that's not what people think of when they think of abuse. They think it's domestic violence. They think it's a man punching a woman, but it's like no, but women throw shoes and scratch and stuff. You know, it's not as women are less deadly, but they're not less violent. I'll put it that way.
It's the
No
problem.
shoes, fine china.
Yeah.
The problem is that when it comes to just the perception of violence in general, this is very much a Western thing. People really have it in their head that even though we live in a world with modern standards, modern values, and modern realities, a lot of people still think in a very traditional mindset.
Yes.
And they have forgotten, or they have never cared, or they've never been exposed to the realities that women like to beat the shit out of everybody, including men who they believe are either too respectful of them, not necessarily too passive, but not as immediately aggressive on reflex. As in, when you hit them, they will immediately start throwing hands with you.
Yeah, and it seems like Jonathan Majors is the type of person who would not put his hands on a woman. Like he grew up with a single mama, you know, she was a pastor, so you got the religious angle there. And, you know, you could tell it was hammered into his head. Like, you don't lay hands on women.
Yeah,
you got to be respectful. Like, and from what things he has said in interviews, it doesn't seem like, he wouldn't put his hands on a woman. Like a guy, that's questionable because he said he's had to fight a lot when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure people will make up their mind about him just based on that, even though the context is that he would fight a man if he got fucked with. But, you know, whatever.
It's a very serious problem when it just comes to any conversation, because there's always going to be a disconnect depending on what the person who wants to have an opinion is coming from. With almost all of the people that I saw that were talking shit about this case, where they decided to castigate him as guilty before the trial was even begun, before they even did research and evidence, and certainly before she tried to flee the country, it was just, oh, he did it because, look, he's black. What do you expect?
Yeah, because he's black and he's a man. I mean, and it's one of those few cases where I do think that probably is it. Why did this not get the attention that the Johnny Depp thing did?
Oh, because it wasn't
really
televised. It wasn't televised. That's basically it. Because it wasn't given the same like it says spectacle.
Right.
That did.
Because I watched all that shit, but I didn't know anything about this. What were the specifics of the Majors case were? So I mean, I think there might actually be a case that it's. Well, I guess he's less of a huge star than Depp too. There's that, but he's still a big star. He's less than Johnny Depp. That's like a hard to reach. I guess
I was going to pivot on that because it's not.
And plus, Depp has been like he's been working against that shit for like 6 years. There was a lot of build up to that.
Absolutely.
Oh, speaking of, did you see Aquaman 2?
I did not. I'm not sure if I want to.
It's out online, but I'm definitely gonna watch that later.
Dear God, I heard Chris Gore say that she's in it for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes in the beginning, and then like 5 or 10 minutes in the end. And I guess she's on screen in some other parts, but her voice gets stolen or something, so she can't talk throughout the entire movie, which is like that's great.
Based. Only thing you have wrong.
From what Chris Gore said, at least, like it's clear that they couldn't cut her out of the film because it had already been shot. It was supposed to come out last year. They couldn't recut the film enough to just cut her out of it, so they had to just make her mute, bitches. At least I don't have to hear the bitch talk.
Goddamn, how fucking base. Have her in there only to give birth to his son and then just shit her off the fucking screen. But yeah, but back onto the Majors thing. It's very important that it is understood that the problem with this case is the visibility, but also the fact that they feel comfortable, Marvel, in making a decision where if they don't want to work with him again, they can just kind of shoo it away, only because in the eyes of how Hollywood looked at him before this case, you literally saw Majors in at least 5 films. Yeah. Whether it was a small thing or it was something like Creed 3.
Oh yeah,
quite literally a star on the rise.
Thanos.
Quite literally a star on the rise. And then ticketing him as the next big bad inside the MCU after Thanos is probably a good idea, not necessarily in their execution, but a good idea in how they chose to do it. I don't think Loki Season 1 did enough to actually build up the idea of how much of a threat he is. I would say after having watched Loki Season 2, it's a little bit more impressive. It's a bit more impressive. But then this is going to create a giant disconnect now when you start looking at other Marvel content. Because a big part of Loki Season 2 is effectively the machinations of exactly how he works as a character. Because Majors has a scene presence that I can only be able to describe as criminally psychotic and Machiavellian. The first perception that you get of him when you see Season 1 is not very impressive, because this is just the beginning of them starting to use the idea of variance, of people who are different versions of themselves that are going to be portrayed differently. People got a little taste of that in the Season 1, but then people got a little bit more of a taste of that with the, quote, variance of other dimensions with Multiverse of Madness. So you got to see the opportunity of what it looks like when you have people basically portraying different versions of characters that you have not seen since they've been last on screen. Involving characters like fucking Baron Mordo, or a alternate interpretation of Captain Marvel using Lashana Lynch's character as the backline of this. You saw a little bit of this with the Marvels, if you haven't.
Yeah, that's why they
spoilers. With her playing of the version of Binary, with the actress that's supposed to be playing her daughter, but now she's an adult.
Yeah, Monica Rambeau. See, that stuff's like I really have avoided a lot of this stuff. The new video I'm working on is about it, but that I'm editing right now is about why women in particular don't like these girl boss characters they keep putting in all these shows. That's the main topic, but
back to the
with data, because I don't like to speculate. Like you know, look, I love watching shit posts about this and reviews and stuff, but I gotta find evidence, and I found the evidence, and it's real consistent.
Yes.
Why would you name a black woman Lashana Lynch? I mean, come on.
That is true. That is asking for somebody to bully her in school.
Yeah, that's like having a Hispanic guy named Pablo Siesta.
Somebody was very proud of their black heritage. But the point I'm trying to get across here is this entire timeline, this entire proceedings of films leading up to this very big moment is now going to go down like a wet fucking fart.
Oh yeah.
Because the entire crux...
They don't have any backup.
Yeah, the entire crux of Season 2 was that Loki is supposed to get people to understand how dangerous a threat the idea of Kang is. Whether or not people know about the Kang Dynasty, as they were trying to tease it at the end of them touching the beginnings of the multiverse from Quantumania.
I hate this multiverse shit.
You now are going to tell me that their backup plan is they're going to pull out some version of Doctor Doom that's just going to wipe ass across all of the Kangs. You're about to tell me that's what you're going to do. You're going to deflate that shit like a wet fart.
They're trying real hard to bring in like more recognizable, like, because they're talking about, oh, we're X-Men, we're gonna do Doctor Doom, we're gonna do Fantastic Four, and I'm like, how the fuck you're using the same trash writers you've been using this whole time? You're how are you gonna make this? Just bring in recognizable people is not gonna help. You're gonna crash and burn again. That's even worse.
It's gonna exactly. I mean, they're just banking on the idea that, well, yeah, we'll bring in these more recognizable characters, because the reason why the reason why we're failing, it must be because we're using all these no names because we've run out of all of our main characters, and they are reluctant to recast right now. I think they're going to start. That's one of the reasons they're doing this multiverse shit, and they're setting up all this multiverse shit with Monica Rambeau, especially. I guarantee that's going to be a lead, and that's how they're going to recast Captain America and everybody else, because and I'm pretty Iron Man, because I know that Robert Downey Jr. is done. As far as I know, he doesn't want to be on this shit anymore.
Can't blame him.
No, I wouldn't want to be in this shit.
Like, it's very bad the way they're going about it, because a good example is how many times they've tried and failed with X-Men in general. Like, we can't really blame the first try at Foxman, because that would be the first opportunity for people to see major screen examples, the ones with Halle Berry. You can't really blame them for those ones, because really only the deepest cut fans would really understand anything to do with X-Men in general, let alone things like the Phoenix Saga, the Dark Phoenix Saga, Hellfire Club, etc. Blah 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 blah. But then
it was all just a different age. That was back, when the first Spider-Man movie came out.
Of course, it was a different era. We weren't in the middle of superhero exhaustion, but we were actually already beginning to get there. Then they redo it with X-Men First Class, and you give them an opportunity to basically bring in fresh faces, and then how quickly they actually go away with fucking Days of Future Past, where you have the old cast trying to hold over for the new cast. It looks like a good opportunity to have good things work out for you, but ultimately it still falls flat because they make the same mistake twice. They try to force the Dark Phoenix Saga without going through the Phoenix Saga. Constantly trying to pull at Jean Grey without understanding the reason why the Phoenix Saga actually works. It's because that entire time leading up to it, she's just Marvel Girl, just a normal psychic telepath, and then eventually she sacrifices herself, gets empowered with the Phoenix parasite host, and then becomes the Phoenix, and then gets basically digmatized by a suave gentleman. That's literally how the character comes about. She gets digmatized by a suave gentleman who's a part of the Hellfire Club into making her become the Black Queen of the Hellfire Club, because they have a chess theme, but then that ends up crossing wires with her psyche, and through that she ends up becoming the Dark Phoenix. Like, every single time it's ever been done, it's literally, she sacrifices herself, and he's always had psychic blocks in her ability, and then when she comes back, she one-shots Charles, and then everybody, including Wolverine, have to be the ones to get her back in order. It was kind of okay with X-Men The Last Stand, because it was a mostly emotional film, banking on Wolverine through the performance of, I'm forgetting his name.
That's going to be another problem for them. You can't recast Hugh Jackman.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm saying you can't. No one else can ever play Wolverine. I'm sorry. Good luck.
Like, it's impossible. You can't find anybody who could do it better. Because really, the perfect casting would have been Bob Hoskins, but Bob Hoskins is not alive. So we end up getting Huge Jacked Man to be the one for it, and he holds it.
Did you say Bob Hoskins?
Bob Hoskins. Do you not know what Wolverine is like? Wolverine is a short.
But Bob Hoskins is a little bit too, number one, old. That's number two.
I know.
Too chubby.
Okay, I know, but pause.
And he doesn't have any hair. Come on, Carl. What the
yes, that's the point.
Feature is hairy.
Like, he is a short, stubby man that has muscles from fucking nowhere that's like a fucking wild up Wolverine. That was the idea behind him.
Bob Hoskins did not have muscles like ever. He was a chubby Londoner. Come on, bro.
He had the build. He had the proper form. He could have gotten the work done. I've seen the actor shirtless. He could have gotten the work done, but it's okay.
He has no hair on his head.
We got wigs, woman. We got wigs.
And plus, he wouldn't have been able to play X-Men. Like, he would have played X-Men in the 80s, not when the 90s when the shit kicked off.
That's the
early 2000s.
That's the point I'm making. He would be the proper body type for it, not necessarily a better actor. That's in the vision of if the character was done exactly the same. They had to change him for that, because the idea behind this came from the entire thing that kind of fucked with the X-Men in general. That constant X-Men wearing black leather with the X fit quite literally was them being too scared to go with the colorful comic book costumes. So then...
Yeah, they No, it was one of the reasons I liked First Class is that they kind of did up like the brightness. They made the costumes brighter, and so I did like that a lot. It's like this felt more comic booky, and it's one of the reasons when they went back to First Class, I was like, oh, hey, I like this. The comic book movies are in such a fucking state of shambles, though, and I don't know. Like again, part of the plot of the video I'm working on right now is about. I mean, it's undeniable at this point that this year was an absolute catastrophe for Disney. Just every single movie besides Guardians 3 flopped. Every single major release was either a flop or barely broke even.
And
I mean, even the
be.
really big
And
ones,
it
Little
should
Mermaid,
be.
it's like we think even that one just barely broke even. Which is, how do you do that? Fuck.
You destroy the franchise, like
Yeah.
as I was explaining.
Put another chick in it. I want to make it lame and gay.
Yeah, make her lame and gay. But I mean, like, still with Little Mermaid, it's just like that's their bread and butter, man. It's princess movies, and you can't even, you're struggling to break even on it. And I don't think that's Halle Bailey's fault, by the way.
No, she didn't make it better with the attitude she had, which is ironic that they had her interviewing.
She didn't have she's not Rachel Zegler. She's not the.
She did not do as bad as that, but they did try to. They tried to bring.
I mean, she did have that little controversy.
Yes, she did.
Just recently with the hairstylist. Getting her fucked up. Yeah.
I found it ironic that they brought her to be the person who would do the variety interview with Rachel Zegler to talk about
amazing.
Snowbell. That was hilarious. But let me get back
to whole interview. Like, not the whole thing, but there were parts of it that was just like, I mean, it's clearly part of the Rachel Zegler apology tour, but just them being like, oh, you're so beautiful, girl. No, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're so talented. No, you're so talented. It's like, oh my
when
God,
they just met like 5 minutes ago. When they just met like 5 fucking minutes ago backstage. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, let me get back to this pivot though, because this shit is integral to why this shit's not gonna work for fucking Marvel, right? So you have X-Men 1 through 3, kind of not great, but a little bit nostalgic for people, especially with some of the themes that it tried to have and tried to use. Then they go to X-Men First Class, where they at least get the black and yellow fit correct, where it's got more color in it. You introduce some characters. You try to get Jennifer Lawrence in on this shit because she's hot off the fucking kick from all the shit she was in. Not Silver Dollars, something Diary Playbook. Then all of the fucking bullshit with the Hunger Games. You bring her in, but she's got an ego about her now that, unlike Rebecca Romaine, she's not gonna put on the fucking bodysuit makeup because she wants to be recognizable and have her face and shit. This is right after the fappening happened, so she was being really self-conscious with her body type too. They started putting her in that really dog shit lighter blue makeup because she was not willing to commit to the fucking body mod for the full costuming session. It started becoming a fucking train wreck. And then this, of course, is when they started introducing Oscar Isaac, who's now a Disney mainstay, his version of Armageddon. Apocalypse. Bringing in people like Alexander Shipp to be Storm. It was a whole fucking mess. Because you could not get Fassbender, and I'm forgetting the other guy's name, to carry the project enough. Because between them, the chemistry of a young Charles and a young Magneto is supposed to be what carries the project. But you can't get the project to be carried, because by the time you get to Days of Future Past, it's very clear that all the energy and all the fun about the characters are gone. And so what do they end up doing? They end up bringing in Hugh Jackman, because they need to have a way to tell a story about the Sentinels, because they didn't actually tell a story about the Sentinels. They can't. They don't have a way to involve Trask, because since the last film that put people in the memory hole of, second to last. The last time they had seen Wolverine, because Wolverine is pretty much the X-Men, you can't have any kind of story without involving Hugh Jackman's character, because that's the character people recognize as a popular character. That was X-Men Origins Wolverine, and goddamn was that dog shit. Directly responsible for making Ryan Reynolds become the voice of Deadpool, if not literally Deadpool. Then you have Deadpool 1, then you have Deadpool 2, which happens a little bit further in the future, but this is just in terms of that. Then they talk about bringing him in for Deadpool 3. They even have him in the black and yellow suit. But from there, it went to the Wolverine, which wasn't that bad, and then of course Logan. But that's obviously an opposite. That's obviously a separate timeline. But the important part is people did not give a shit and still don't give a shit about the X-Men, but they do care about their individual favorite characters. And
Yeah.
one of those characters, most especially, Jean Grey / the Phoenix, Charles Xavier, at least Michael Fassbender's depiction of Magneto, because
I think people care equally about like Ian McKellen and Michael Fassbender
yeah.
back Magneto.
Yeah, well, because Ian McKellen's also, he was great too. But
Ian
I mean,
McKellen's the perfect
it's
old
classic.
Magneto. He's
Right,
the perfect
yeah.
old Magneto. And Fassbender depicts a very, very energetic, I wouldn't say necessarily middle-aged, but, starting to get older, that eventually gracefully ages into the old Ian McKellen Magneto. He has the burning anger that comes from seeing mutants being abused. The entire fact that the First Class event is responsible for causing the rift between them, that then gets him his iconic helmet because of the guy whose name I can't forget that was portrayed by Kevin Bacon. All of that leads into where we are now, where the last thing that we had from the X-Men just basically was Deadpool 2. Before that, they had to try to find a way to try to keep the franchise afloat. But now we have a remake of the 90s show that's being touted as though it's going to continue from there. You've got comic book writers that are responsible for the death of comic books as it is in the Marvel's comic department. Whether or not you want to blame people like
I'll blame Mark
Madeline
Wade.
Sagassi.
He wrote one of my favorite runs on Daredevil, but fuck him. He's
Like,
such a piece of shit on
Mark
Twitter. Holy
Wade,
shit.
Madeline Sagassi, Vita
Oh,
Viola,
the milkshake crew, yeah.
Oh, Heather Ontos, every single one of them, and all the people who have already been fired, are all responsible for the irrelevancy of the X-Men. Because if you take a look over at the X-Men comics right now, you're going to feel a very serious big amount of culture shock. You're going to see them bullshitting around with the Hellfire Club. Quite literally, just all they ever do is they either have new outfit fits that they're designing or showing off for the Hellfire Gala outfits for the X-Men comics that are still running that. You have them jacking off in the Krakatoa arc because the X-Men have gone full fascists and are running a mutants-only state.
They've been doing that for years.
Yeah, for years, because they don't have any ideas, because they don't know what to do. They had better writers that were setting up Krakatoa, and now that they have nothing but the bullshit people there, they can't write anything, so it can't go forward. And then you have the introduction of things that don't make sense and are only there because of current year politics, like a transgender mutant who is a man, but his entire form is based on a drag queen, who got his powers because he was broke and his lights went out and he was stuck in the dark in his Manhattan household, in his apartment. Characters quite literally having their powers taken from them and then given to someone else because it's problematic if that person has that ability, because don't you understand they're white?
Hey,
that power needs to go to
in
a
Marvel's
minority.
defense, they really did never release the Safe Space and Snowflake comic book.
Yeah, they never released that run of the New Warriors because as soon as they saw that shit hit the timeline, everybody made fun of them, which is also a problem. Your comic book recognition is dog water, because if we're making things in the movies, and you're also, if at least the parts that they did do well, which was having a companion show running alongside the shows, which with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you have all this star power in the movies, and you have at least some level of talented people on the silver screen, but you don't have anything following it up because it's not translating into comic book sales. You should be making gangbusters on this, and they haven't been for years. They have
But they've never been able to, and I'll tell you what, like,
Yes.
you know, when Iron Man came out, right,
Mhm.
and it was a shock hit. Like everybody was surprised that movie did so well, because no, I mean, in terms of Marvel superheroes at that time, Iron Man was like a B-lister. I'm not saying he wasn't popular, but I mean, it's not Spider-Man, right?
Mhm.
So Iron Man was a little bit lower than your Spider-Mans of the world, and like when that movie did so well, because I was buying comics at the time, and I remember I was at my LCS. I was talking to the guy who owned the owner, because we'd talk all the time. He's a really cool guy, and I asked him, like, you know, over, and not just then, but I remember asking him over the years several times, like, so do you see upticks in sales when these movies come out? And he said, nope. So what will happen is people will come in like straight out of the movies, because there's a movie theater, by the way, like right down the street from his shop. So it was really well positioned in terms of, yeah, like, I mean, that's the best place for when these comic movies are blowing up. That's the best place for a comic shop to be, you'd think. He said, no, they come in, they'll look at it, they might buy merch, right? They'll buy like a t-shirt, maybe they'll buy like a toy, but they don't buy the comics, they don't buy the floppies. And one of the reasons why that he speculated, which is correct, is that, and I've talked about this a lot over the years, it's really, really hard to get into comic books. It's like, this is, Journey into Mystery number 876. Like, how do I know where do I start? Right? That's that's Thor's comic, is Journey into Mystery. How do you know where to start with that? And that's what Marvel started to do to cope, or to make it easier, was to like constantly relaunch everything with number ones of new series and stuff. But it didn't work. It has never translated. The Marvel comic book movies have absolutely never translated into comic book sales.
Yes, that was exactly the point I was
there's
going to make.
just no overlap.
That's
People
exactly
who watch
the point
comic book movies don't want to go read comic books. They're too confusing. They're too weird.
So like
It's
this,
not for normies.
like this, that is exactly the point that I wanted to make, because that's been the problem ever since the Marvel shit jumped off with Iron Man 1, because they didn't expect it to. They have never had a way to capitalize on this. So my theory is that what they decided to do is they were going to come up with a way to try to capitalize on it, and that's why we ended up getting Disney Plus. We didn't get Disney Plus because they wanted to have a backlog of they didn't want to have a backlog of their movies from the Disney Vault that they would slowly finally allow to be released from the platform. That's never what it was for. It was literally supposed to be a Marvel platform. It was literally meant to be a Marvel platform, because that's always been what they've been doing with the shows. Every single Disney Plus show ever released, at least in the Marvel category, if somebody has found a QR code inside of the Star Wars shows, please tell me where you found it and let me know. Put it on screen. I want to see it, because I want to scan it and I want to find out what comic book they were trying to sell you. Every single time, in every single Marvel show, there's always been a QR code that tries to push them into Marvel Unlimited, which is their online distribution service for digital comic books and physical release comic books that have been scanned for you to read. It's a paid service that is not worth your money, because it's all comic books that basically have been old, that are either the original part of where the character originated from. So if you wanted to have the same effect, literally just go pirate off the internet. And every single time, they never update the shit. That's the worst part. Those QR codes are expired because they're expired coupons. They expect people to, like, scan the code while they're watching the episode. You know, freeze frame, pause, rewind, go back to it, scan it, go to the store, then pick it up, and then be like, oh my god, I can't believe this is where they originated from. I'm gonna watch these. That's not what the fuck these guys are gonna do, because none of these people care enough about the goddamn characters to watch this shit through, and none of them care enough to even have any kind of public appearance, let alone public discussion of the character, outside of bots on fucking Twitter. Or the occasional YouTuber shitting on a commenter because they didn't like the opinion of said commenter, fictional darling, only for them to then scrub the video, and then for myself and Jay's black ass to be the ones to get on your ass, because you guys are too embarrassed to have your real opinions out there, because you hate people having opinions about shows that you think is supposed to just be this cute little romp like that of She-Hulk, where you're just going to take a character, destroy their personality, and insert your quirky little writing in it. Because, listen, guys, it's supposed to be our fun show about her getting her shit slammed through by Daredevil, and her talking about her cases and shit.
About it. That's what really hurt me about She-Hulk more than anything. Like, and I like Shulky as a comic book character, and I love the original run where that was very fourth wall breaking and stuff. It's a fun comic book run, and they ran with that for years. Was it like she addresses the audience directly and stuff, but they couldn't even get any of that right. They had to fuck it up, and they ruined my boy Daredevil. Just thank you.
It's
Marvel,
less.
I love it.
It's not Charlie Cox's fault. He's under contract.
No, it's not. He's great as Daredevil. And he's great as Daredevil. I really like him as Daredevil. I really liked that show, but it's not his fault. And they brought back my favorite Daredevil costume just to fuck with it. Because I love the yellow costume. It makes me so upset. But whatever.
But yeah, they don't know how to handle bringing in characters people haven't heard of, let alone bringing in characters that people haven't worked with, because it's something that an auteur has to do. This is what they were able to do with Netflix Marvel. You had the ability to test out an environment. How do we handle writing these characters? Street level characters like I forget what exactly they called it, because for Jessica Jones and for the other character that they had, that the name is escaping me. It was Jessica Jones and another one.
Iron Fist?
Yeah. Well, no, the other one. They have co-op names. Luke Cage and Iron Fist together are part of Hero for Hire. And then for the other female character that they had, Misty Knight, and I forget what Jennifer Connelly was fucking portrayed as, because I know they had her like as a daughter that was supposed to be a fucking descendant of fucking Kunlun. Daughters of the Dragon, I believe. That team up opportunity, along with all the other shit that they had, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and the fourth one that is apparently escaping me, because I know there was 4. Somebody in the chat will say it. Them coming together and then doing Defenders, which was ass.
Yeah, it's
garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for that.
That was a testing ground. That was a testing ground where we needed to have the ability to see, okay, here's the cosmic world level threats. Let's see what we do with Street Heroes. And Daredevil, seasons 1 through 3. Yes, we are. Seasons 1 through 3 was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. No, it was the perfect example of what you could do with a street level hero when you have somebody who is willing to do the work. They did the time building up the character. They did the time building up Fisk. They did the time building up Hogan. They brought in characters that you possibly weren't aware of or never heard of. And
Foggy was great. I mean, like that whole relationship dynamic was they did it fantastic. Like God, dude, I remember when I used to get excited about this stuff. Like when that show came out, my friend Connor, he went to the Disney World, I guess, and they had put in, or like whatever, where they put in this like Marvel Land right when they first did it, and he took a picture of it, and because it was before the show actually, it was just when the show was coming out, and they had just like on the side of a building it said Nelson and Murdoch, attorneys at law, and I remember just being so happy to see that, and now I can't get excited about anything because it's just like, oh, they're gonna fuck this up, you know. God damn it, I miss being able to like things.
And that entire testing environment, they took away when they started Disney Plus, because they were all complaining and bitching and whining and crying about having a competing concept on another platform they didn't control. But now you're talking about bringing it back around. Now you're talking about bringing in X-Men again, which was the last time people saw that, didn't end well for you. You're talking about bringing in Fantastic Four again, which I would say the first outing of Fantastic Four was slightly better than the fucking Fan Four stick. That was garbage. That was garbage. That was horrible. And you guys want to do that shit again, but you don't want to bring back the original actor. You had an opportunity to have a shout out for him, but you guys decided to go with the fan cast version of him, which I don't disagree with bringing in.
What's his name? The guy from The Office?
Yes.
Who they killed in Quantum Mania?
Yes.
Oh, that upset me. I was just talking to Discord about that last night. It was like, not Quantum Mania, Multiverse of Madness, where I was watching Mahler's review of that when it was premiering, and I remember I was sitting here at my desk. I'm on the second floor, and I had not seen the movie. I was watching Mahler's review because I don't watch this slop if I can help it. I mean, sometimes I do out of like, okay, so I can talk about it. I guess that's basically the only reason why. It's not the reason why anybody watches this shit anymore. So is to shit on it. But I didn't know what they did to Black Bolt and to Reed Richards in that movie until I was watching Mahler's review. I went down the stairs, I went outside into the back garden, and I screamed. Like, I literally screamed. I was like, it's like, I can't believe you did this. Like, it's just such an insult to like, I know you don't care about these characters, whoever made Multiverse of Madness. I know you don't, whoever the director was of that. I know you don't give a shit, but I care about Black Bolt. I care about Reed Richards. And for you to have them on the screen and bring them back, like particularly, I think that the fan, is it a fan cast you said for Reed Richards?
They
Was,
pretty
what's his
much, yes. I keep forgetting the fucking actor's name because
John
not
Krasinski.
Yes.
Krasinski, yeah.
Like them, there was an entire 2-year phase between him and the female actress they ended up putting in as the night nurse for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Forgetting that actress's name. They were fan casting them non-stop to be him because they were like, he's gonna be perfect. You'll be able to bring in his wife as Invisible Girl. You'll be able to get 2 other people to fill in. Who knows whether or not you'll do. Who knows if you're gonna have somebody fill in to be Johnny Blaze? You might be able to work in one of the actors that are retiring from the MCU to reprise that role so that it's a complete shake-up to have a scene moment. But it was embarrassing because even though they are not dead in the multiverse, your first appearance of these characters on screen was to insult, not just degrade, insult, and completely, I would also say, emasculate them. Like, because most people, that is Black Bolt's first appearance ever in the in any Marvel film property. So. Well, I think so. Wait, they did make an Inhumans show, didn't they? I didn't watch that. They tried to get Inhumans off the ground, launching it with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to try and work in the concept of metahumans.
Was Black Bolt and Medusa in that?
It was supposed to be separate. What happened, the plan that they wanted, was there was supposed to be a season that was going to focus on the Terrigen virus and allowing people to get abilities as metahumans if they had the ability to survive as an Inhuman. This is how they ended up casting that one actress that was supposed to be the lead quirky hacker and make her into her comic book version of Quake, which they didn't do that poorly. It was okay. But they tried to make it into its own movie, but the movie was shit. So they instead reworked the concept to be a release of an episode 1 and an episode 2 that would then get a cinematic release, like it was supposed to be a movie. And that fucking bombed because nobody knew who the fuck the Inhumans were, which is sad since he is literally king of the Inhumans. The entire concept of the Inhumans, because it was that one actress that was in Preacher, the one that has the really unfortunate last name. Who am I thinking of? 1 second, I need to look up her name. Preacher, because I'm pretty sure it sounds like a bad word. Preacher. Can I say that? Ruth Negga. Black woman.
This is the ongoing question of, can I even say the name of this movie that looks really funny? You know what I mean? Like, am I even allowed to say the title of this film?
Yes.
Society for Magical.
Jay and I talked about that last night. I don't know whether or not that. I don't know if they're gonna. Drew Bill. I don't know if they're gonna be allowed to do any kind of actually promotion work for that because honestly, we agreed. They probably should have released that in February, to be honest, if you're gonna have the satire from the Black
History Month.
But then how are they gonna how are they going to do anything featuring that? Or how are you going to do anything featuring advertising for that film? Because we live in a censored internet now. That's unfortunate. I'm scared to read out the name of a talented actress, guys. What the fuck are we going to do with this film?
Right, exactly. Like, I mean, what's the white population of US? Like 60%, 65%, something like that. I think it's like 65%. If you have like 65% of the population who isn't even sure if they can say the title of your movie, like how do you go to like, hello, I'd like 1 ticket for
say it with your chest.
I swear to God, I'm almost certain. I'm almost certain what's going to happen is people are going to go to the movie theater and be like, "Hi, can I get 2 for Black Hogwarts?"
I mean, let's be honest. Is anyone really going to see this film?
Only people who are going to dunk on it. That's it. Like that's
us. We, the reviewer class are going to see this.
This is the entire.
Yeah, but I'm not going to the theater.
Market left.
Of course you're not.
Oh my god, yeah, the only people left who go to this stuff, I really think it's like crazy people and people who do make reviews of this shit.
And the same people who thought Black Panther was black excellence. So, hello, empty signifier.
I don't think Signifier's gonna watch this shit. I think what he's gonna do is he's gonna wait for it to hit fucking the review section, and then he's gonna start talking shit about reviews of the film. But
and pretend like he liked the movie.
and pretend that he liked it.
I don't know. Wait, who's DC Signifier?
FD
He sounds familiar.
Okay, hold on.
FD Signifier.
Okay, I will give you the rundown. FD Signifier.
Oh, FD.
FD Signifier. In
Name
fact,
sounds
let me
familiar.
look
how
up.
little I care.
Let me look up his federal name. Excuse me a second.
Yeah, look up his government name. I see.
Yeah, federal signifier. That's what the FD is.
I did put a clip from Grace Randolph in this video because she's I don't know how does she have like 800,000 subscribers when she is the most shrill, loud woman I've ever heard and has dog shit takes. God damn.
Was Christina Meyer?
Mm-mm. Grace Randolph.
Oh yeah. I think Jay made a video on her.
Yeah, she's in stuff. They watch her go well on EFAP. Her shit's fucking. She's like I've never look. I don't know anybody else who screams into their microphone like that while they're just talking. It's like you're reviewing a movie, but it's like, but she's yelling the whole time like this, and it's like what's his name? The guy who played Iago, the parrot. He died, didn't he? She's like the female version of that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Gilbert Gottfried? No, dude.
Gilbert
his name out your mouth.
Yeah, Gilbert Gottfried's likable. She's an unlikable female version of Gilbert Gottfried. She's just yelling into the microphone. But it's like, oh my god, why are you so
Guys, somebody call a janitor. A 14-year-old girl puked all over the stage. I'm sorry.
So she's
That's Amy Schumer.
I think she's from New York, so she's got that same accent. Like, but it's just like, oh Jesus, how do you have 800,000 subscribers? Because I just looked it up the other day. Because again, I was putting a clip. Because she has to. I was astonished. Even she couldn't really defend the Marvels. You could see her trying. You could see her trying. Her little feminist brain, the hamster wheel was running real hard on that one. But it's like, but it's such shit.
Oh, that poor hamster. Life only by wine and Xanax.
Unfortunately, I could not find his government name. But FG Signifier is a member of what is called Cornbread Tube, a black subsection of RedTube that does nothing but make video essays. He is famous for claiming he would never become a debate bro, and then immediately becoming one, trying to get Destiny to give him money over Cop City. Supposedly, he lives in Atlanta, Georgia, so he's literally 2 hours away from these hands, and his content is garbage. It is really bad. It is really bad think pieces where he just shits on conservatives, he shits on things he doesn't like, and he shits on people, especially people like Destiny, and claims that everything he does is because he understands it, and it's all got to do with leftist thought points. And basically being an echo chamber for his white fans to take his opinion and say, oh my god, so true, so base, king. He's really fucking lame. And he's a perfect punching bag. Because all of his points are usually based in ire and snide. He has nothing but talking, never any true solutions, and never any answers. And he never asks questions about things either. He doesn't do debates, he doesn't do conversations, and if you were to get him alone on a conversation that he has absolutely no knowledge about, or he claims he has, because he's in a video about it, he knows absolutely fucking nothing. He is just like Thought Slime, he is just like fucking the rest of them. It is horrible. But, wrapping up my thought, because the next thing that's been on this screen the entire time I want to talk about next, ultimately, they want to bring in these franchises that are untested, or have been outright bombs and failures. But they're also kicking out one of the bigger stars that could probably have been one of their biggest stars moving forward, because we could have gotten a really good satirical comedic presentation, because the problem with the idea of a variant is that basically you're saying it's the character but they're not the character, which basically is another way of saying it's the person who you've known, guys, the entire time, but it's not. So what if Robert Downey Jr. was to come back on the screen as a different version of Iron Man, but he's not the Tony Stark that we know, because that Tony Stark is dead and buried. He's not coming back. So you'd have an entire new connection, an entire new characterization, which also provides an entirely new opportunity for a different characterization of the character. So instead of having a Tony who was for registration, who caused the Civil War, Instead, you have a Tony who is more than happy to be against the government. Because fuck them guys. Because he actually has his parents. And his father got him to understand, listen, work with the government, but don't fucking trust the government. This offers a endless opportunity for characterization, not just for the heroes, but also for the villains. You could have switch-ups. You could have people's moral values leading them to become heroes rather than villains, or villains rather than heroes. You have an opportunity where you could have S.H.I.E.L.D. ending up being just straight-up Hydra, but it's not that it's infected by Hydra. No, they're just as corrupt as Hydra. And Hydra actually becomes a sense of freedom fighters. For example, you have Wakanda remaining as an isolationist country, but they're not giving shit to anybody. Whenever somebody has vibranium, they go there, they steal that shit, they fuck them up, they kill them, they wipe out any information about it. You have an opportunity to do anything, and they do basically nothing with it. Or it gets undervalued and underused. You have an opportunity to have a villain who was basically that. Every single time he popped up, it's a different personality, a different backstory, and granted, even though that sounds exhausting, a fresh opportunity for an actor to act his ass off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could. They really opened this up that they could go the Doctor Who route with this. You know, although let's not talk about that either.
Oh boy!
That's a whole nother just. Shit.
I don't think we are qualified to talk about that unless we have Bill join the call.
Well, I am. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. Like, really. It was though. I mean, when I watched that Star Beast episode, right? I watched it with Spoon. No, I didn't watch it with Spoon. I watched it on my own, and then I talked to Spoon about it. And then afterwards, I was like, Spoon, because he's never seen an episode. Who lives in Ireland, but I mean, he's from South Africa, you know. But I was like, Spoon, he's never seen an episode of Doctor Who, and I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. Let's watch blank. We're gonna watch a good episode, so I don't have to feel sad. And then I went and like rewatched basically the first 2 series, over the next 2 days, and that it was like being at a friend's funeral. That's the only way I can describe what Star Beast was like. It was like, oh my god, yeah, this show's been shit for a while now, but it felt like having to lay a friend to rest. Mm-hmm. Holy shit, that was so rough. That was really hard. That hurt me. That it finally just like how I had to go outside and scream at what they did to Black Bolt. It's like rip Doctor Who. Fuck. Like
that Neil Patrick Harris Toymaker appearance, and then them introducing Nduti Agwanda.
Nduti Gatwa.
Nduti Gatwa.
Nduti Gatwa. That's how it's pronounced.
Nduti is really pronounced Nduti.
Oh
god! Oh
no! He didn't know he was gay. We were just setting him up for failure.
Just setting that man up for dick. Oh my god! But the shooty appearance and the bi generation, it's less the bisexual and more like he was bifurcated by a giant fucking laser. I'm just putting this in context for Jay.
Binary, non-binary. Oh, kill me! Just kill me already.
Like we're just putting into context for Jay. He gets bifurcated by a laser on a fucking rooftop. They bring back
David Tennant.
They bring back David Tennant to play a version of the Doctor.
Who's still around, flying around through space and time in his TARDIS. Mm-hmm. So it's like, which of course they did exactly. So it's like, if this doesn't work out, we can just bring David Tennant back and people will watch again, right? Because that's what they did for these specials. Were like, oh, bring back David Tennant. Please watch. Please watch.
And their entire idea is saying, well, we want to make a Doctor Who verse where actually every single time the Doctor died, it's just the shooting of a new timeline. We could bring back other Doctors, guys. This will clearly work for us. It was embarrassing. I was upset. And then the idea of them being... There was an entire movement that's probably still going on, especially on social media, but most especially on TikTok, where it's like, oh, y'all guys want to come back to Doctor Who because the Doctor's hot again? And I'm like, whoa, excuse me, whoa, I need to sit down. Y'all have eye problems. What the fuck is wrong with you? I understand.
That's been a thing for years, though. Is that there were claims that I don't know if you saw this, but like when they cast Peter Capaldi, right? I remember when that happened because the whole Tumblr sphere freaked the fuck out, and they were like, "Oh my god, he's ugly! Oh, he's old!" And it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Have you watched the show before David Tennant? Like anyone before that? Like Doctor's usually been an old guy, you know.
It's very concerning to me because like I can understand. It's like, okay, I wanted to watch the show
And
because
Capaldi's an excellent actor.
Like, I wanted to watch the show because the actor's hot. And I don't think Peter Capaldi's ugly by any means. If anything, he brought a level of mature, dark anger to the fucking franchise that was really good. Especially
That's why I loved Eccleston. Eccleston and Capaldi were both excellent.
Like, especially inside of the Jenna Coleman arc, where it goes from Clara as the impossible girl to her basically becoming the... I don't know what they called her after her death from the Raven, but whatever she is now. That entire opportunity there, all of that is made possible only because of Capaldi, because he had to carry that by himself, and then leading into the Bill shit. Oh my god. Oh no, kill me. Gag me with a spoon. You get a black companion who basically is just fucking mugging the camera all the time, and you end off her arc the way you began it, with basically a lesbian tryst.
Yeah.
Wow, man, that's great.
Of course they're robbing the camera.
And then...
I'm sorry.
And then...
Speaking of robbing the camera, how are you enjoying Robin Hood, Jay?
Oh, yeah.
We're in pain. We're in pain. We're in utter fucking pain.
Yeah, I'm not even done with the whole season yet. I filmed. I filmed like I filmed up to episode 6. I haven't gotten to 7 and 8 yet. But yeah.
She and I have already watched the whole thing, but she kind of like conked out a little towards the end. When she gets to the ending, she's gonna be upset.
It's the second to last episode. The last episode's kind of like meh. It's that second to last one. That's just like, what?
The one that really set me for a loop is this entire opportunity they did with the fucking lead sheriff and Officer Redcap. I don't know who has a fetish in the office for seeing a white woman dominate an immigrant, but I think Canada should look into that, because I think that person might be guilty of a hate crime. Because that shit feels like a fetish. It feels like a fetish. It doesn't seem like, yes, strong woman in power is going to hold man who committed horrible gun crime against a citizen under her thumb because he did an oopsie. Which, okay, I get that element. Yes, control his career because he almost made your fucking empire of power disintegrate because you're working with the sheriff and whatnot. Then when she starts fucking him, I stood there dumbfounded like, huh?
Yeah, Director X said the show was like for teenagers, and I'm like, why the fuck are you putting this in here?
What? Okay, then we have to talk about the condom jar. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Okay, I get the joke. He's stealing cookies from her cookie jar. Oh yes, I get the joke.
Full of condoms.
It's fucking lame.
It's lame.
Because the thing about this is that everybody knows that the cookie jar is full of condoms. It's not like the mom and the elder daughter had this joke running between them where it's like, you going outside? What are you going to go do? I'm gonna go pick up some cookies. Go get the cookie jar.
Go get your cookie. Get your cookie out of the cookie jar. Be safe.
But it's not.
Oh my god!
It's literally a house of 3 black women.
Yeah.
So you guys just have a condom jar in your kitchen, and it's just understood. Y'all just be fucking.
Isn't the youngest one like 14 though? She's like she's underage. She's like 14 or 16, something like that.
And she has herself her own love interest. Like there's a moment where the love interest for the youngest daughter was about to grab what he thought was a cookie from the cookie jar, and then he finds out, oh, it's condoms. But the thing that flips me for this is that the youngest daughter knows that it's a condom jar. So the implication here is that at some point in time in this family history, whether or not the dad was there or not, mom told the daughters, listen, if you ever feel the need, sweeties, if you ever feel the need, it's right here. It's right here.
Right, yeah. Oh my god, it's just, it's parodic. Like, I have no idea what the fuck that man was thinking, Director X. What a weirdo. And then, of course, freaking out at everybody on Twitter about it.
Because they be robbing. They be robbing his. They be robbing his.
I was on stream with him once, like with Yellow Flash, and I couldn't even talk to. Yeah. I was.
Oh, he went on. Shit.
Yeah, I couldn't even talk to this motherfucker because he's one of those people who thinks if he yells over you, he's fucking right. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna opt out of this and just listen to him. And it's like from what I heard, from what I gathered listening to him, I think because he said he had this idea for a like modernized Robin Hood show, but like it started out like interesting. And the Robin Hood was originally going to be a guy, like it was going to be like a white guy or something, but it was going to be like he was like special forces, and he comes home and this crime, his city's riddled with crime and all this shit. It was gonna be like some low key Batman shit, whatever, I guess.
Sure.
And then he said, over the years, he presented this to some producers or whatever, and over the years it just kept getting whittled down and whittled down and whittled down to what it is now.
So his excuse is that all of the seeming like really intentionally weird, I'm gonna just be honest, racist decisions that he made, like weird stereotypical decisions, like just playing into every. I mean, the fact that also it's like, it all takes place in this fucking project housing that for some reason they're all really protective of, because everyone loves living in the projects. What the fuck? Like, it's like what the fuck? I don't get it.
God, the world building of that show is so
This
fucked.
motherfucker has lived around, has worked with rappers for like 20, 25 years, and you don't understand how this is unacceptable? That's what I'm thinking. That's why my hunch is that he really resents having to having to talk about this show. But I think people got a hold of it. He thought it was like gonna die a slow, painful death. Like it would come out, flop, whatever. No one cares.
But it just so happened that the reviewers,
reviewers like saw the concept and was like, "Oh, this is some bullshit." And then instead of he has so much resentment, instead of going after the people who willed his baby down to nothing, he attacked the reviewers because I think it's about on his part is like just cowardice. And he has a big ego at the same time, so that both those things are working against him.
I think it's an element case of like he feels that now that since it's his name on the project, and he has to fight for his own sake, but because at the same time he doesn't actually understand how, at least talking to reviewers, works. He doesn't realize he's putting more fucking fuel on the fire to be bad on him. And all the people that he personally blames, because in his mind, if it was me, we wouldn't have to talk about the show like this. The show is better, so I have to get you to understand this wasn't my intention. But instead, he ends up doing what he did. And now his show ratings, we be Robin, we be Robin.
Oh my god.
I know he doesn't care about the show because I haven't had one copyright issue. Not one copyright issue, not one demonetization issue. Like it's like I have this thing where while it's uploading, I'll have them check the video for like demonetization because it's a little trick to see if I can get it to glitch out so I can get my video to green. So like every single time I do that, it'll be on yellow at first, but then as soon as I got all the metadata's in and the thumbnails in, it automatically goes to green. No issues,
I guess
nothing.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing. And now like the whole scenes will go on for like because usually the copyright thing, if it goes over 6 seconds, they'll claim your shit. Right. And like there are plenty of scenes in my reactions that go on for over 6 seconds, and I've gotten 0 issues. Nobody gives a fuck about this shit.
Well, yeah, I mean it's on what a global or something, whatever it is.
It's on a global Canadian network. I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But I think at this point, in terms of whoever's running the show, whoever the executive responsible for basically watching all the reviewers' videos, I think they feel that it's going to benefit them more to let the reviewers make the show popular for them so that it becomes trash television that people will hate to watch. I feel like it was an intentional choice.
Oh, that was me. I do believe that show was
because Jay, remember that voice line that I took? Like, who's ready to eat garbage and wash trash? I think they did that shit on purpose. I think they hope the show becomes a meme that everybody loves to fucking hate. You'll know what I mean when you see it.
It's just so like I saw the engagement on like the trailers and everything once the quote outrage started happening, and it's just dead. I don't think anybody really cares about it except for people who don't like it. But like people who don't like it, like that dislike doesn't last. Like love lasts, hate does not last in terms of like television engagement.
I would never watch that show in the first place just because it's not made for me, obviously. However, I enjoyed the fuck out of watching everyone's reviews of them. I still am like the reviews because it's such a ridiculous show that I mean that's how I generally have been for years though, because like none of this stuff's made for me. Because guess what? I actually like comic books. I like Star Trek. I like Star Wars. I like these things, and none of it's made for me. So I won't watch it. I'll watch other people watch it. I get far more enjoyment out of watching EFAP than watching the actual fucking content.
Mm-hmm. But moving on to the main, well, I wouldn't say the main topic, but one of the main topics. Let's talk about the Twitch stuff.
We're done with the Jonathan Majors thing. We only talked about it for like 2 minutes.
Well, we can't. Well, actually, let's redirect back to the Jonathan Majors
Yeah, let's
trials
go back
first,
to-
actually, because this is what Jay came in here for. Jay?
This is one of the things I'd like for this and like the last topic that you were going to talk about.
Okay. Jay, the floor is yours.
Oh, shit. Damn it.
Now you're in the spot.
Yeah, basically, because I think people have the gist of what happened. Kind of. Well, when I was covering it, I covered a video that nobody except like one publication covered. It's this video of him after the chase, of him walking past her on the street, after the chase happened, and she's getting all this she's like farming for attention and sympathy from like these strangers, and like he walks past all of them, and he clearly, like, the body language he has is very like avoidant, and he doesn't want to be around. Like there's some kind of like there's like undercurrent of fear. He jerks his arm away from her when she tries to like go near him, and I'm like, yeah, this motherfucker's innocent. Like I immediately saw it. It was like, this doesn't seem quite right. And she's like, allegedly at this point she has a broken finger and a gash behind her ear, and like there's just no sign of her being injured. And then the whole conversation she has with these strangers is like, oh no, my phone in my bag and my boyfriend cheating, and that's about it. That was the summation of the whole thing. Like, she doesn't mention any abuse. They don't try to call her an ambulance or the cops. They just stand there like simping over her over like some fucking what could be just like a basic lover spats.
Yeah, because that was the video that I was talking about before, because you can very clearly see on the CCTV footage outside of, I think it was either an apartment complex or a hotel or someplace, that the one guy that was hearing this motherfucker starts making moves towards Majors. When he walks past, when she tries to call out to him, like, dude, what the fuck? You trying to go, bro? And he's like,
white hat, like, the dude, bro. Jesus Christ, that was stupid.
Like, from the shit like that, it's like very clear that even if you thought he'd done something in private, it's like, hold on now. If he was aggressive, he would just be using his star power, if not just using his body, and be like, you don't know anything about this. Back the fuck up, bro.
That doesn't track for me for that being that's not the behavior of an abuser.
Yeah, like, she tries to paint him on the stand, because I've been following people who were at the trial. Like, she tries to paint this picture of him that he is a megalomaniac, controlling, doesn't like when she's out with other men or friends or whatever. And but then
maybe he doesn't,
after
but
after he walks past her and like I said, has this like fear reaction to her. Like, clearly he's not in a good state of mind around her, but then he just looks at him and walks away. Like, even after this dude tries to square up, even after he sees her with 2 men, even after all this, there's no like possession on his part. He just walks past them like he wants to get away from her. Like, if he was a possessive and controlling, like, why isn't he dragging this bitch to the car? He wants to get away from her. That doesn't track with how they were trying to paint him in court.
Right, and that's avoidance behavior. Like, if he's walking away, he's trying to remove himself from the situation. That's the exact opposite of what abusers do. Abusers go towards, they move towards. If you're trying to remove yourself, which is the exact same thing that Johnny Depp did, by the way.
Yeah,
he kept trying to be like, nope, I'll go somewhere else in the house. I'll leave. I'll get away. Trying to get, because that's someone who's probably been abused.
Yeah,
that from the sound of it, she was probably abusive towards him.
And like,
oh no, go ahead.
Like, the other thing that was very important, like, during the beginning of this, and it's actually here in this article from The Cut, Majors often showed up to the trial hand in hand with a new girlfriend, actress Megan Good, along with a group of friends and family members, including his mom. The prosecution had alleged Majors, engaged in cruel and manipulative patterns of psychological and physical abuse towards Jabari even before the March incident when she discovered Majors had been cheating on her. Majors' defense had accused Jabari of assaulting the actor out of jealousy and then lying about what happened to the authorities. The jury deliberated for roughly 8 hours before reaching the verdict, which had immediate effect for Majors' career with the loss of his place in the Marvel Universe. Like, they kept playing up this entire angle before that, oh, see, he guilty because he trying to throw up with a black woman on his arm to get some good graces, which made me fucking roll my eyes so far back in my head that I could see inside my brain.
But clearly, like no offense to John Major, but clearly, if he was cheating, he was definitely cheating with Megan Good because
definitely
she popped up quick
Very
to
quick.
be on his arm and shit. Like, there's definitely some kind of relationship going on.
Like, at the very least, I could understand for her. It's like, oh my god, I'm supposed to, like, this is not fair. I saw how Iron Fist has a white wife. I'm supposed to have that for me. Which is, this is an ironic thing. Every single time there is a black actor in Marvel, they have a white wife. So, I think the problem here is that she thought, shit is good. Boyfriend's got a job in Marvels. I'm gonna poke a hole in this condom tonight. But then she goes to his phone. She sees texts. She's like, who the fuck is this bitch? He's like, hey, yo, I ain't time to talk about all that right now. She's trying to have her moment. She gets physical. She runs away. He runs away. She keeps chasing him. She keeps pushing for this shit.
Yeah,
she
was clawing at him the whole time. Like, clawing at him. Like, trying. Because he posted evidence of, photo evidence of his jacket just completely, like, fucked up from her clawing at him. And he's got scratches on his arms, on his face, and all this shit. It's a fucking mess.
And the fact that she showed up at the trial, whether or not it was a case of like, oh my god, I heard what's happening to you. Here, let me take you out to dinner. And then that just turned into... And then she shows up at the trial on his arm or not, is neither naysay here or there. Because she never confirms who the texts are with. Just that there are texts. Which, if it's text to Megan Good, wouldn't you have, like, done what most women do when they snoop and had taken photographic evidence? Which probably would have also maybe that wouldn't even been admissible on discovery, because that would have been ill-gottenly obtained. It's not like you would have petitioned it to be put into discovery with your law team, because you'd have to explain how you found it. And if you start off this case being, well, my boyfriend lost his job because I went snooping through his phone because I have no sense of privacy, I'm not already on your fucking side. I'm already on his side. You started an argument that led to him losing his job because you can't fucking ask him questions. You can't stop snooping through his phone.
Yeah,
and you're jealous of him as an actor, possibly having girls on the side. Girl, you know what you signed up for. I'm gonna be real.
True too.
I'm gonna be real.
Good-looking black man looking like him in his 30s. Like, come on.
I mean,
bitch.
like, it's kind of, I know that sounds cruel, but it's like, but if you gotta expect that. If you're, if you sign up to be with somebody who's like that, in that kind of position, a famous actor, young, attractive, you gotta know he's gonna have side bitches.
Like,
again, it's not fair.
Like the situation was though, he's known her since 2021. Like, they met on the set of like the Quantumania, whatever the fuck. And they had a New York apartment together. And there was like that audio that came out with him chastising her about how like they had a plan, which means like he was in for the long haul. But the thing is, she was a sloppy fucking drunk. And who embarrassed him several times. So I'm guessing, like, because of that, he was on his way out, but he ended up fucking cheating before he was on his way out. And that's
should have closed that first before you cheated, dude.
So he wanted something concrete with this chick. It's just she fucked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, she throws a fucking fit because she realizes how quickly shit was fucking changing. Then she tries for the angle of, maybe I can get some money on the way out from him. It's like, what happens here if you don't get what you want and you feel like you didn't get enough money? You're gonna come back with another story saying, and then he raped me too. Like, really? Is that what's about to happen?
She was planning this whole fucking time anyway, because she filmed him. Because, like I said, she recorded this argument that they were having, where she came home drunk Again, it's implied that she does this a lot. She came home
just
drunk.
like the Amber Heard shit. Then holy fuck.
And then she embarrasses him in front of he's having like this work dinner at the crib over Loki or something, and then she comes home rambunctious and drunk with other drunk bitches and embarrasses him, and then he chastises her, saying, "You need to carry yourself better." And like we had a plan. I'm trying to get us set up. And for life, and I'm trying to like get my career established, and you are fucking it up. Do better.
Yeah. Fuck. It does. I mean, like, yeah, I didn't know the specifics of this. I mean, I heard what I heard, and I was like, oh well. No. And mostly my reaction too was just like, well, Marvel's fucked. It was more me just reveling in Marvel getting fucked. But unfortunately, yeah, it sounds like an Amber Heard 2.0 all over again. Same shit.
Jonathan Majors is getting fucked too.
Yeah, I guess so. In terms of he doesn't what you say, it doesn't seem that it's in any way deserved. That's completely screwed up.
I mean, she was filming that whole conversation. I'm like, bitch.
That's exactly what Amber Heard did.
Yeah, the fact that she thinks that was like some people are against him because of that audio that got leaked, but it's reasonable. It's totally the only fucking type of people, no offense, that think that audio was unreasonable, or like bitches who were totally like feminist indoctrinated, who the bad bitches. Like, how dare he talk down to her? For one thing, he's not talking down to her. He could have said a lot worse. He was very actually. You know what, Carl? You need to pull up that audio. Pull it up. Pull that shit up. And I want you to decide if that was unreasonable.
Keywords.
Shit. Jonathan Majors audio. We'll just like type in like his name, Grace Jabari, and like audio released, I guess.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox Science.
I think this might be it.
Surfaced, and the actor just said he joined Briella.
Definitely argument break. British choreographer Grace Jabari back into down this. Jabari met after she read a romantic.
No, that's not the audio. Like, is video release, audio release, video release, audio release, new audio, new video evidence released in Jonathan Major's trial from a week ago.
Grace has to be in a certain mindset to support Coretta Scott King. You know who that is? That's Martin Luther King's wife. Michelle Obama, Barack Obama's wife.
This audio clip from September of 2022, 34-year-old Jonathan Majors is heard
accused. I think I found it.
Let me see what audio you have.
All right, hang on a sec. Oh. There you go. It's in the chat.
I see it.
Right now. Period. This is actually. What are we doing right now? Period. This is.
Can you do like a watch together in the?
I can project you the screen.
Oh, okay.
Understand that? What are we doing right now? Period. This is actually. Period. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Do you really though, baby? Do you really?
Yes.
Then how dare you come home drunk and disturb the peace of our house when we have a plan? I would like to get to the point where your friends know what job I'm on and go, I think Grace is gonna be out of commission. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I won't.
No, do you understand that? Because that team, that unit, right? Grace has to be in a certain mindset to support Coretta Scott King. You know who that is?
I see. The clip that I had was like a piece and segment of this, not the whole thing. So I'm already.
They're isolating like one part of that to make him sound crazy.
Mm-hmm. But I'm listening to this, and it's like, aggressive person, establishing the point of the issue, getting to the heart of the issue, affirmative, supportive care with words of endearment and terms of affection. That's clearly what an abusive person does.
He's calmly but assertively stating the issue. He's not freaking out. So what the hell? This does not sound abusive to me. This is not the own you think it is, lady.
Yeah, really. It goes on. It goes on.
Oh shit. It's not of you.
That's Martin Luther King's wife. Michelle Obama, Barack Obama's wife.
I know, I'm not. I shouldn't have gone out. I'm
No,
sorry.
let me just lay it out for you, right? If I'm just gonna say this. My temper, my shit, my trauma, blah, all that said, right? And I'm gonna say I'm a great man. A great man. I am doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and for the world. That is actually.
Yeah, like that little for the world part was a little arrogant. Okay, like I'll admit that, but like he's essentially telling her. He's essentially telling her like, act like a woman with poise, and he lists like his women he admires, like strong women he admires.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a motherfucker who's around beating women.
Like, I can already see the machinations in my head. If I was a person in the TMZ lounge, what part of this am I taking out of context and dishonestly clipping that entire section right there?
I remember I saw a clip from Inside Edition, and they just play "I am a great man" like over and over again, like he's Kang or some shit. And
like, hang on. He's not wrong though. He's a fucking catch. Like, you know, I mean, he's
right.
a famous actor in Hollywood who's attractive. He's rich. Yeah, he is.
You can't be a man and acknowledge that. At the
right.
He's not allowed to do that.
Denigrate yourself.
Yeah. But you can't be a man and have that level of, oh yeah, you know, I make this much money. I got a 9-inch dick. Like, I got all that, baby.
Like, I understand how he feels, because in this moment, this is not like a man standing in front of a microphone saying, like, I am a great catch. I am a wonderful guy. Your daughter would be lucky to get impregnated by me.
Listen to what he said. He says, despite my trauma, despite my issues, despite my flaws, basically, I am a great man. So this is basically like him. This is a guy who sounds like to me who has had to build himself up despite his issues. Mm-hmm. And the fact he's here now, that he's at the level he is now, like I'm gonna acknowledge how fucking great I've become. Mm-hmm. Fuck that. he's just laying this shit down.
Okay.
That's real. I'm not being a dick about it. I didn't ask for it. I've worked, and that's the situation. The woman that supports me, that I support, that needs to be a great woman and make sacrifices the way that man is making for her and for them ultimately. Last night, 2 nights ago, you did not do that. You did not do that.
I'm sorry.
Which took away from the plan. And the plan is everything. If it was just you in the house drunk, maybe I could have swallowed it. Or I would have felt bold enough like, oh, babe, let's just go to bed. Which I said, I'm just going to go to bed. I'm not hungry, blah, 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 blah. Because Grace isn't here. Why? She was drunk. Why else? She was clogged by whatever was going on. You know what I mean? Fine. I can take that. Fine.
I can only imagine how the rest of that goes, but the entire perspective change here should be jarring to everybody, because I can tell you I've had plenty of conversations like that in my fucking life with women I've fucking been involved with. I don't know how often y'all get in discussions with people, but there's a certain level of tone and cadence and understanding that comes with, like, this is the ground rules. You fucked up the ground rules. While I understand what you wanted to do, I need you to understand you fucked up the ground rules. And now we gotta get shit clear. Because unless you are able, as a couple, to identify a problem and solve it together, there's always going to be a gap, a hole, and an issue that has to be resolved at a later date and time. And if it's a frequent issue that she is drunk to the point he's talking about 2 nights ago you fucked up, and then you're belligerently drunk again tonight while I'm trying to talk to you, I can see why he would probably have Megan Good on his arms. Because I don't think I've ever heard or seen Megan Good be involved in controversy or drama. If anything, she's probably safe. She's probably a safe choice.
Bitch,
probably
adorable.
Probably a safe bet. Hello, horror. She's probably a safe bet. Because imagine that shit. So here's how I'm imagining in my head. She has his number somehow. She gets in touch with him. And she's like, oh my God, Johnny, let's hang out. She goes back to his crib. It's like, oh my God, Johnny, I heard what Jabari did to you. That's so mean. Touching on his chest, touching on his chest, touching on his chest. You know what you need? I understand. You need a strong woman. Plap in his lap.
What's the weird thing is, like, he met her ex like what, a year before they hooked up, or no, a year before her and the ex divorced, which is very odd.
So he already had her. He already had her on the roster.
Like, he definitely had her like in his contacts or something. Come on.
Damn. But like, now the story of this trajectory here. Now the story of Jonathan Majors in this is going to be a question of how is Hollywood going to adapt? Because this is actually something that was interesting that I've been looking into for the last 3 months as I kept my eyes on advertisers and Twitter. I'm not calling it X. And how how they've been kind of not necessarily pivoting, but how they've been slowly adapting and realizing actually Elon's not going to stop being like this. So maybe instead of trying to fucking kowtow and cave to media matters, we should just not care, guys, because I'm seeing the floodgates begin to open. I wouldn't say all of alternative media. You're not going to get people to go to fucking Odyssey, honestly. Maybe you'll get people to go to live streams on Rumble, but not regular everyday videos on Rumble. You might be able to get people to use BitChute as a backlog for their content, because I know that I do. I know that Jay does. I know that people like 6hexnammer666, Tarl, I forget his last name, Tarl Warwick, I think is his name.
Yeah.
You have plenty of people using alternative media in that sense. But the main viewpoint of people right now, as far as the normies, because this is a normie issue. Technically, it's a clear net issue.
It's a very easy to use app, just like Twitter. It's very easy to use. It basically, I think YouTube comes installed on your phone pretty much when you get a new phone or new device. It's just right. It's like a preloaded app. It's right there. It's linked to your Google account, so it's all very, very integrated and simple. Whereas, if I want to log into watch me on Rumble or Odyssey or whatever or BitChute, well, then I have to go off site, and I know that it shouldn't be difficult. But even I'm so lazy that's like, is it on YouTube? No, and I shouldn't be that way, but I am. Just because it's like, oh well, it's just easier if it's on YouTube, and it is. It's almost all convenience. But I think that unfortunately, there's going to be the reality is there's going to be growing pains for it. I think people will get over it, but all those and websites are going to need to have more easy to use, more easily accessible apps, and that's the big barrier. And then also the App Store wants to keep them all off of it because it's like, well, these are naughty websites.
Yes,
I know all of them have had issues with that at some point.
The whole alternative media bubble is something that has to be bursted over time by just demonstrating. Because first, number one, the problem is that it's the fucking App Store monopoly between Apple and Google and Alphabet on all the other major platforms. Because Apple's gonna be Apple. Fuck Apple users. They want to be fucked. Okay, they're ready to be cucked. You can tell them that they don't need to have basic features that every cell phone needs to have. They're a fucking lost cause. It's the main example of everything else that is gonna set the stage for it. Because I can use Jonathan Majors' case as a microcosm alongside X as an example. The issue with X has always been Twitter, quite literally, was built by companies to control, thank you for that, against the main public. It has only ever been for content creators to post out links when they're already big and to get blown up bigger. Just the same way that fucking livestream fails is basically an OTK like crockpot. You can never grow on Reddit. You can never grow on Twitter or YouTube without having a big YouTuber putting their finger on the scale or putting their hand on the scale, pressing down on it and lifting you up. It has only ever been for people by people that basically decide to be who is going to be the movers and shakers. Once X gets taken over by Elon Musk, you see a meteoric rise in people that are like, okay, this is going to be a new renaissance. And technically, on many parts, for the things that he claimed should be done and would be done, it has not been done so. The platform has not improved massively in a very serious capacity. But the one thing that has improved is that even if people didn't pay or did pay, you're beginning to see all of the people who would be constantly in your feed. You would never stop hearing from them. They've either reduced their appearance or have outright disappeared entirely because they're locked up inside their echo chambers. For the very most part, both sides are guilty of it. People are in their fortress arcs. They don't want to talk to anyone. They don't want to associate to anyone. They don't want to go on any panels. They don't want to do any podcasts that aren't already opposition controlled. That they will never be confronted on, they don't want to talk to anyone. And because the majority of them use the main Clearwater and ClearNet websites, they're not people who would go to a place like Tor to have to use Tor browser to look at anything, regardless of key reforms or not. They have no concept outside of that mainstream bubble. Reddit, YouTube, Twitch, their personal subreddits, their Discords, their personal website channels, their .ggg websites, if they happen to be forked off of it from Whiteleaf or not, that's all they know. In that bubble, advertisers, just as much as the main public, will only see what is put in front of them. With these news stories that have been coming up within the last few days, we have seen a meteoric change in how quickly one person's making a tweet can pop things off. It's always been that way, but now you're hearing from people who would have never been heard from before. Not everybody's getting unbanned. Not everybody's being removed from shadow bans. We only recently got back Alex Jones. Lord knows we need to see it. For real we do. Sam Hyde's using Twitter as a way to stream live to pop off between both his reality television show that he's going to do season 2 for, but also just showing up randomly. Hey, here I am playing Fallout 3. The opportunity for people to use restreaming is now bigger than it's ever been before, because Twitch has finally stopped deciding to be fucking assholes and let us restream on multiple websites and have the ability to have the fucking shows that we wanted to have, so you can actually grow on multiple websites, or at least have a website source where you can have one audience here and another audience here. It is slowly begun to heal, but we still have to deal with the idea of a potential adpocalypse number 4. I think we're on number 4 now. How long is it going to take us to undo the damage of Adpocalypse 1? How long is it going to take us to undo Adpocalypse 2, Gay Boogaloo? Because of gay wonk tweet. I forget his name. Carlos Maza, the champagne socialite millionaire, complaining on the internet because he's being mocked by Steven Crowder, as everybody's shitting on Steven Crowder still for his divorce, but having the audacity to say I made things better when he actually made advertising and money gain for people like myself, for Jay, even for you, worse.
To be fair, I do think that stopped after a while, but it took like 2 years for that. And I don't know really, because the apocalypse was like right after I started, so I remember like when I first started, I was like, holy shit, the ad rev was so good, and I don't think it's still good, but it did. There were some years though right after that happened where it was like, I instantly saw that it got a lot less. Unfortunately, that was like right when I started doing YouTube full time. Thanks, Carlos.
And like
also keep in mind, it didn't just affect political streamers. It affected everybody. Any content creators in general. Like I do horror content, and that kicks my ass.
Like ever since then,
everybody got fucked.
And every single time something happens like this, that shit always affects us, because at the end of the day, the advertisers, whether you call them boomers or not, they're not concerned with the social media game, because they don't have young people in the market space that actually understand the fucking thing. They don't even know the name Devin Nash. That doesn't occur to them. You don't have a single person at Alphabet that cares about that, because you don't have people like James Damore inside the company. It's very clear they don't want people like that. So you don't have people who understand the marketplace. You don't have people who understand the culture. You barely have people who are able to understand and assess any true detail past, I like watching X streamer, I'll go watch them on said platform. Said streamer did thing, I'm gonna go watch news story on said platform. Dr. Disrespect isn't on Twitch anymore, let me go see what he has to say on said platform. Everything inside that bubble is only gonna be seen in that one light. We saw this come to head with Johnny Depp's case, not only because it was worldwide news, but everybody had stake in it. For the angle of the law tubers like Dave Ricada, it was not just for him the thing that allowed him to step away and disassociate entirely from Kiwi Farms, but it becomes a money-making pit and a money-making opportunity, because you're going to tell me you're not going to watch this? This is must-see TV, like we said earlier. It is must-see TV. There's no way I'm not going to stream about this. There's no way I'm not going to talk about this. Brian Braindump, the person who was responsible for reconstructing and putting together all that evidence that went along with that case, that I think you, myself, Jay, and another person watched when I first started VsChat, when it was under the other name before, which was a really horrible name. I don't know why I thought that name was good. But even back then, that shit is important to see and watch live, because this element in nature of people only seeing things in front of them, if it's put in front of them, is what leads to YouTube now being where it is. Because YouTube right now is in the fucked up place it is with all the algorithms and horrible fucking push to view shit because of Susan Wojcicki. So now how long is it going to take us to get out of the phase of advertiser friendliness and Susan Wojcicki and just allowing things to exist inside of their own space, and for them to exist in that nexus where it can be seen by people? Doesn't mean they have to watch it, but it can be seen by people. It's not being held back by an algorithm. You don't have bots constantly demonetizing a person's channel into the ground because once upon a time you disliked the content that they made. When are you going to not punish them for that? And when are you going to allow conversations to be had? And then, past that point, how is social media going to now start affecting these topics when it comes up? Are we going to see X start doing live tapings and live showings of the trials as they go up? Or are we going to see news organizations start to realize that actually we need to run 24-hour coverage of this case whenever it comes through? We need to have people talking about it, discussing it, the same way that there are people like ourselves talking about it and discussing it. Or we're going to see advertisers begin to realize that actually just because the broadcaster said nigga what a soft A does not mean the world ended. Actually, not even if they're white does it matter, because this is a word that should be mattered. By all means, ban the hard R, especially if they say it in anger with the inflection of trying to hurt the person, which is the time it's only ever mattered. It has never mattered any other time. You guys need to stop being little bitches about this shit and you get the fuck off that. Stop riding my nuts, nigga. You need to understand that at the end of the fucking day, this is how the social media game is done now, whether or not it's something that's corrupt or not corrupt. And you need to understand that shit moving forward into the next thing we're about to talk about, which I don't know Jay knows anything about this. Jay, do you know anything about the sexual content that's happening on Twitch?
Oh, well, I want to mention one more thing about the Jonathan Majors thing.
Go ahead.
Because it does tie in how scummy Disney is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really give a shit that they fired him for Kang, because like they're going Disney Marvel's going down the drain.
It's going down the shitter anyways.
He doesn't need that shit. But he had this other film that he was going to come out with. That was supposed to be his like Oscar winner, Oscar contender. He was getting a lot of
his Oscar bait
award buzz for that. And like Disney bought Fox Searchlight, and Fox Searchlight owns the movie the good movie that was going to establish his career. So Disney has already basically said we're not releasing that. That's fucking lame. They opted out of wanting to release that film. So if they fired him for Kang, they're probably not going to release that. And they basically already fucked him before they even fired him, like from Ant-Man or from Marvel, whatever.
Yeah. It is a fascinating dichotomy when you think about it, considering the similarities, between this case and the Amber Heard one, that Warner was willing to stick by Amber Heard essentially. But I from what I've heard from Chris Gord, like they couldn't have cut her out of that movie. Like she just had, they reduced her plot or her importance as much as possible, but it was like the film was already shot, so there was like,
they could have spent the money to try and sub her out with somebody, but.
Yeah, but they'd have to reshoot basically the whole film from the sounds of it, and they still had to recut it. They spent a whole year recutting it, and trying to edit it. But it is interesting though that the difference is that like Disney was like, "Yep, Jonathan Majors fucking gone. He's out." They were willing to scrap essentially like what sounds like big projects, because he was they were setting him up to be Thanos too, and so they're willing to. What are they going to do then? Like, they've been setting him up for what has he been like 5?
Probably recast him.
I guess.
Like they have to.
Yeah, it's a multiverse, so they can.
If they recast,
but if I was a black actor, like a black male, like I would not take that shit. I would stay far away from it, just out of protest. Like, nah, I'm not. Nah.
I don't know. They can put Ryan Gosling in there.
That would be like a death knell for Disney indefinitely. They would get so much shit.
Hang on, they did just announce that Ryan Gosling.
I know, that's why.
That was so. That timing was so sus. I'm like, please don't do that.
Well, they've also been making the jokes about him as Black Panther.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
That edit from forever ago where but that wasn't even an edit. I think there was actually a picture of it was originally like fan art of Hawkeye as Black Panther, because Hawkeye was Black Panther at one point, and so has Captain America been Black Panther at one point. Like that's the thing in the comics, it doesn't really matter as much, but obviously the movies has to be
if you want to blame anybody for that, you have to blame Ryan Coogler. That's not Marvel. That's Ryan Coogler making it black, because he needed to have it as a black moment for black culture. Black.
I mean, we can't pretend like that wasn't Marvel too. I mean, I mean, that solely
okay,
on Coogler.
yes, they platformed Coogler, but Coogler is the one that ran away with the shit.
It really
but, like, what else is he gonna do? What else is he gonna do?
You know, the guy who really like wrote Black Panther as a character. I mean, he'd been around for a while. It's a guy named Christopher Priest.
Oh yes, baby. If Priest ain't on the
those comics were so good.
True.
Because if Priest ain't on the crease, it ain't Black Panther.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, ever since then, and God, please, somebody remove Ta-Nehisi Coates. I don't even care if The Nation Under Her Feet has been released. Just take him off the fucking book.
Ta-Nehisi Coates, holy shit.
All of those books, him, Kwanzaa Osefo, every single one of them that have been involved with writing Black Panther since, it has been nothing but a fucking shitfest, which is why they never use those examples of the characters. It's just not popular.
Right, but it's like you know, like I said, I've been into comic books for a long time, like big into comic books, which is... I should be like the target audience for all this shit, but I'm clearly not. I should be the target audience, but I'm not. And I wish that I liked Black Panther. I didn't watch Black Panther 2. I don't know if it was any good. I shouldn't.
No,
at that point, I
No,
was so checked out. I was like, I liked the first one though. I thought some of the CGI was like, that didn't look great. Even at the time, I was like, ooh, what? Some of the fight scenes were a little wonky looking, but I liked the movie. I thought it was fine. I liked that they kind of went with that. Like it's like. Freaking MAGA. I liked that. I was down with it. I mean, it's accurate. I thought it was a good movie, a good action film.
True.
But yeah, I think they overhyped it though, and now they're stuck with some shit.
Very much.
Yeah, it's like it's a basic MCU film, but they're like, oh, this is for the culture. This is for like,
but yeah, it's just a super
like black people didn't exist for this goddamn movie.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it was a good action movie, but then like they were like, this is the most important cultural event of the century, and like it's a superhero movie with people in spandex punching each other. Like what?
It's kind of like the whole Blue Beetle hype, where they're like, oh, this is the first
you don't understand.
Hispanic superhero, and I'm sitting here laughing like, what did Antonio Banderas not do Zorro?
Yeah. It was so fucking cringe.
Oh, that one killed me. I didn't watch that movie either, but I read the reviews of it and I saw some reviews because I love Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle. I mean, I love Ted Kord as well, but I love Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle. That's an excellent comic book. The 2006 run is absolutely fantastic. It's such a good, and they did that. The family stuff is very incorporated in that comic, but from what I saw of it, it looked like they didn't handle it well, which I'm not surprised by.
Like
and like didn't they like hyped up like how Mexican they are? Like they all eat tacos and shit. Like what the fuck is this? Like
there was a very weird moment because there was 3 fandoms that were going off really wild. There was a Power Ranger fandom that was going off really wild because the suit actor that they got for Zolo's body double is a trained member of that entire world. Like the Sentai Ranger world, so they were like very happy about that. So it's like, yeah, they're gonna finally take it seriously. Sit your ass down. No, the fuck you're not. No, the fuck you're not. But then there was the whole Mexican American standard, which Zolo comes from Cobra Kai, which is I'm forgetting his name.
Right.
Yeah, he's the Mexican character from Cobra Kai. So when Ralph Macchio, and I'm forgetting his name, it's the villain character from the thing that became the lead for that. When he created that series, a lot of people were really, really hyped because it was making a show that basically was incorporating something that hadn't been done in a long while, which is actors being trained to do fight scenes and actually doing their own choreo. Like, they are physically taking these hits on camera. Even though it's very clearly choreographed, rehearsed, and they're doing it on multiple takes and sets, this shit feels like a serious drama. It's not being done in such a way where it's a slapstick show. It's not being done like it's a Disney Channel series with a fucking laugh track. This shit is an emotional fucking roller coaster. They have the understanding that, yeah, you kind of have to treat this shit with some reverence. They do a very good job of this throughout every single season. I don't think a single season has been bad. I've watched 4 of them so far. I know there's a 5th one out that I haven't watched yet because I specifically need to finish these projects that I have.
You're talking about Cobra Kai, right?
Yes, Cobra Kai. That's where he's from.
I really have enjoyed Cobra Kai. Yeah, like, I really enjoyed it.
The energy that he's supposed to bring, and him and all the other co-stars supposed to bring from that, I understand why they pulled him for that. I don't disagree with the casting. I just think the way that they went about it, especially leading it with fucking George Lopez's bitch ass with that fucking Trump comment, was not great.
Yeah.
It did not do a lot of energy, and Blue Beetle is already a character that doesn't get enough popularity, let alone enough viewpoints, because he's usually seen as a hanger-on. He's seen usually as a lackey or a flunky that goes alongside heroes like Booster Gold. And Booster Gold ain't that popular either.
Booster Gold's also a flunky. But that's why it's fun. That's why I love Justice League International. That's why I absolutely fucking love JLI. You know, I have a trade paperback of the first. You know, it's even a trade. It's like a really big trade. It's a thick ass book. I think it's thicker. It's bigger than a trade.
Ass book.
That's the original run of JLI with Giffen, DeMatteis, etc. And I have it signed by everybody, every single person who worked on it, besides the inker. Everyone, it's all signed on the cover. It's one of my most prized possessions, and I was like, and I even posted about it recently. I was like, I love that I own this because it's one of my favorite comic books of all time, and I love that Booster Gold and Blue Beetle are kind of lame. And one of the coolest things about, now they couldn't do this because one of the coolest things about Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle is he does not have the same power set at all as Blue Beetle. He takes that name. It's an alien thermonuclear weapon attached to his spine that he can't get off, and Ted Kord kind of becomes his mentor, albeit like very unwillingly. The problem is that, and this is what I really think the problem that DC had with this, is that they already made this movie. It was called Spider-Man Homecoming, and so like, they couldn't remake it, and it was like, oh shit. And I remember when I watched the new Spider-Man movies, and I was like, this is just Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle. All right, they put Tony Stark in the same position as Ted Kord, and I was like, holy shit, you just made a Blue Beetle movie. And I mean, I liked it because I was like, oh, well, I like Blue Beetle. I like Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle, but I'll like it as Spider-Man too, I guess. But yeah, that was I don't think they didn't know what to do, so they just like played up the Mexicanness, which is like the least interesting aspect of it. I mean, yeah, he's Hispanic, but why gotta like make it about,
it's like
oh, we love tacos.
It's the old argument that everybody's like, it's like, what part of this, when you took this character and you changed them from white to black, is important? It's like, did you forget that now that you've changed the context of the origin, you need to have ways to make it make sense? It's like when horror was showing me Castlevania Nocturne, and I got to the part involving Annette and her all black, all Haitian, Orisian background using magic because it came from the ancestors! Like, what part of this puts her in France, though? Like, I know France had a Haitian...
Her singing parrot friend, that's what made it
like,
French.
Yes, I know. Like, I should know most of all, considering that we're the ones that ran the 2v1 back-to-back against the homies. I know that France had multiple slave colonies. I'm aware that Haiti was one of the ones. But here's the thing, though. How the fuck, number one, are we involved in Paris? And why are we talking about Black Lives Matter in revolutionary 1910
Wait,
times?
Are you asking why we're...
No, I'm asking, like, rhetorically.
Why were they in Paris?
Yes,
They
literally did put niggas in Paris. They really did put niggas in Paris. Excuse me, negresses in Paris. Like, how did you get here? Why is it that your mother specifically ended up in this place? How is it that the Belmonts even care about this when the Belmonts are originated in Wallachia? Why are we here? How did you end up here? But then you have dumbass content creators like Redis 101 saying, I don't care. I'm going to defend this example. Motherfucker looks like he's my half-brother. I'm going to defend this character to the day I die. She's black and fucking got her shit together. Die mad about it. That tourist shit is exactly the same thing that they did with Blue Beetle, but worse, because now it's a live-action project, and now people's got their feelings into it, kind of like they did with Percy Jackson and the Olympians, which I think just dropped on Wednesday the other day, the first 2 episodes.
Wait, what? They made a TV show of it? Didn't that movie just bomb?
They're making it a Disney Plus series instead. Rick Riordan already cooked on it. He said, if you guys don't like my black fucking Athena character, you guys are fucking racists. It's a whole thing. It's the same thing that they did here. But the problem is that since nobody necessarily gives a fuck about Blue Beetle, that doesn't work as well. You can't call people racist because it has nothing to do... Well, I know you do. But what I'm saying is that they cannot use the frustrating argument of you just don't like them because they're black. It's kind of like when they brought in Cyclone, the Black Cyclone for Black Adam.
Yeah, they always do
like,
this shit.
Was the
though.
point?
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh yeah, you don't like it because you don't like them because they're black. You don't like them because they're gay.
Like,
you don't know. It's like, but it's like, no, actually, I do like these characters. I don't like how you're treating them. That's what I don't like. I wish you would write them well because I do like the characters, you dick.
It's like the problem always is like, imagine if you could that they're holding this black wonderful queen by her fucking dreads. They got her fingers in the fucking weave, and they're like, "You guys just don't like her because they're." I'm putting my hand in my hair for anybody who's not watching this on the video portion. You just don't like them because they're black. I'm like, bitch, I do like the character. I don't like her. Let me fuck no, bitch. What the fuck? They are like, they're so locked into holding on to them. Yeah, they're so locked in on holding on to them for that.
The shit. Like, I watched the trailer for the new Echo show, and I was like, oh god.
Why does that even exist? Why does that even exist?
Well, you're real scraping the bottom. No, okay. And what I even said, I don't even know if I said this on Twitter, but I've said this to Bill, and I've said this, I think, on streams before. It's that, like, I think I might be the only person on planet Earth, besides David Mack himself, who would call themselves a diehard Echo fan. So, like, hello, I am your target audience. It's literally just me and the guy who invented the character. I'm pretty sure it's just us. So, like, I'm pretty sure that's the extent of the Echo fan base. So why are you dragging out this character? Oh, I know why. Because she's Native American and she's deaf and a woman. Jesus H. Christ. But they're not gonna do anything fun. Like one of my favorite scenes in Daredevil Volume 2, when David Mack was writing it, is there's a really, really cute scene where Matt Murdock and Echo go to Maya Lopez go to the movies together. Because the whole thing is like she's sent by Kingpin to like spy on him because Kingpin knows that he's Daredevil, sort of, or really pretty sure he's Daredevil, and sends her, who's like his adopted daughter, to go spy on him and stuff. Anyway. So they go to the movies together though. So she's like pretending to date him, but they end up falling in love anyway. It's very cute. It's a very like cute little story. But I just love when they go to the movies because he's blind, obviously, so he can't see shit, but he can hear, and she's deaf. So she's they're in the theater and she's describing what's happening on the screen, and he is telling her what the characters are saying, even though she can read lips. But still, like, he's describing like the sound effects and stuff, like the music, and people were throwing popcorn at them and telling them to shut up because they're so loud, and it's like, it's really cute. It's a really cute, adorable little scene, and I love that. But they can't have Daredevil in it because Daredevil is fucking She-Hulk now, which he does in the comics, to be fair, too. But like they've now set him up as a She-Hulk simp, so they can't have. They've already shit all over him. They can't have him, and they absolutely can't have him be an actual love interest. He has to just be there as a boy toy, essentially.
Yes,
thanks,
supportive
Marvel.
boyfriend.
I hate it so much. You make me sick.
They don't have balls until they're willing to show us the fucking Snooki scene. Until she is pounding Juggernaut into the ground, I don't care.
When snoo.
Also, super chat from Struggler. $15. What's good, people? Sorry I couldn't be around for the stream, but I hope you guys have fun. We was Kangs until we not! True.
Yeah.
Big true. Big true. But transitioning in and finishing off what I was saying beforehand, at least on this before I get back to the other thing, the other thing, they could not play that angle of racism for Blue Beetle. And it having that low-ass box number, I don't even think it broke 200. Those low-ass box numbers was pretty much an example of it. Now, that's not to say that it can't be a cult classic film. Because what they have to do is they just need to start trimming the fat on these films. That's all they got to do. Like, realistically...
Or they need to make less of them.
Make less. Start there.
And just write them. Just write them at all.
Write. Have a good script first, and make fewer films so that you can focus on the quality of each individual one and stop just dumping money into them. It's like, it's this... I mean, I think after this year, it's got to be a wake-up call. I mean, like I said, every movie besides Guardians 3 flopped. Every single, including movies that should have succeeded, like Wish and Little Mermaid.
I'm super not believable on Wish. I think that shit was always doomed to fail because they had the opportunity to do something that had never been done before.
It sucked, and that was have the. Did you watch it?
I have not yet, but I've seen what people have been saying about it. They lost a really good opportunity to something that they had never done before, which is to have Disney's first supportive and positive evil villain couple. Man.
But instead they went with multiverse shit. Oh, all of the Disney movies are connected. Oh, just kill me.
I loved how they had to cope about. I love how Disney officially had to cope about that and say, actually, they are not interconnected. Even though the filmmaker of this said that it is not the intention for us to do that. We do not associate with this motherfucker.
Sure. That's why you put it in your movie, because it doesn't what you intended. Okay.
But yeah,
sure, Jan.
If they,
sure, Jan, exactly.
If they want to be able to fix anything in terms of like superhero movies, the DCU as a whole, I would say let it blow up. Allow James Gunn to do whatever the fuck he's doing right now with is Peacemaker? John Cena's character.
It's Peacemaker.
Yeah, whatever he's doing right now with Peacemaker, let him keep doing it, because I'm pretty sure they've already made him the de facto boss of Detective Comics to begin with anyways. Let him redo all the shit. I don't know if Superman Legacy is going to be shit or not. We have no idea. That's not the concern. Let him just let him cook. It's his kitchen. We were talking about these the other day. It's his kitchen. Let him cook. Let him make the spices. Let him create the shit. Let him whisk us with examples and regalia of his stories. Let it tickle the palate and then absorb into your body hole. And then, after he is basically finger fucking us, let him be like, and by the way, I got more. And then people be like, more? Please give me more! It'll be better.
Is a good fucking movie. That's why Godzilla -1 is doing fucking numbers. People just want a fun movie that has normal human values. Not backwards morals. That's the whole thing, is that all of the morals are backwards. They're all twisted on their fucking axis. And it's like, everything good is bad and everything bad is good. No, you can't, like, they're trying to like program people into this shit because they live in their Hollywood, California bubble of insanity. And then they're like, well, we have to make everyone else think exactly the same way we do. That's not how it works. You can't do this. You can't program morality like this into people. I know you really want to, but I don't think you can.
But speaking of morality, YouTube, Twitch, specifically Twitch, and their policy changes.
Ah, yes.
Uh-oh.
The story, ladies and gentlemen, is artistic nudity. Technically, autistic nudity.
Autistic.
Artistic nudity. I have released a video on it, which was at least staying up on the shit. We can watch that real quick. Well, technically there's two videos. There was the 10-minute video, there was my response to Asmongold being retarded as fuck, and then there was my summation after which. We could watch all...
Asmon fucking L on that. I don't know what... Usually Asmon's got pretty okay takes on stuff, but he is completely wrong on this.
I don't know. Maybe breaking up with fucking pink sparkles has affected his brain.
What was that, Bill?
I just...
Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's just
I have to interject that the meta has morphed into something really freaking funny.
Oh yeah, I know. I was looking at the news story. We're gonna talk about it. But
well, no, I mean like the whole tech, like it's now guys are doing it starting with like Tectone.
I saw.
But they're banning the dudes.
Bar.
Yeah.
They're banning the dudes from what I've seen. Which is like,
so
oh my
funny.
god, you can just tell that the fucking thirst of the Twitch mods. It's like, guys are like, okay, well, I'll just wear a Speedo then. And they're like, no, actually, that's not art. It's only art when women play piano naked. Okay, thank you.
See, at least in that case, at least in that effect, she had the pixelation. So it's just like the hentai they masturbate too.
So, hey, but she's good. She is
a good piano.
Naked.
Yes.
It's like, wow, he's actually really good. I don't know if I would have. I would probably have been more interested in just watching you play piano like a normal fucking person. But okay, thanks, Twitch.
The way that I was.
Yeah, but that's like one female streamer out of like how many hundreds that are doing
literally
this right
thousands.
now?
Oh, I know.
Especially the ones that are responsible for it, with Mork by showing right up on somebody's stream to try and act as though she is not responsible for this fucking situation as a whole. Because that's always how it happens. However, before we get into that, I'm going to ask Jay. Jay, what do you know about this news story? Do you know anything about this?
Shit. There was some hoes doing some hoe shit. and then
that's
people complained, but then Twitch changed their policy to artistic nudity, and then they changed it back when people were like, "Y'all are stupid."
That's pretty much
all I know.
Yeah.
So like,
right on the money.
TLDR.
So that's pretty much the basic TLDR. I will let Carl from 7 days ago on Twitch Backspellows from Artistic Nudity because Cam Show Girls explain it for us, because I'm pretty sure I hit it in these like 4 minutes. This one, I'm pretty sure, I think it got chat restricted for a bit. I think they took it away on this one. I might be confusing it between it and the other one because I had to use the clip of Morgue Pie in question, and you guys know how they feel about nudity on Twitch.
We all saw
but
that, I think.
I'm gonna put this on screen for the chat and make sure that this
Tits
is
hang low.
streaming here.
Yeah.
And we
I didn't know she was that muscular. I was like, wow, all right.
Yes, because Morgue Pie,
That's what you saw? That's what you noticed?
Yeah, I was like, wow, she's weirdly muscular. Is it weird? I don't know. Like she's got broad shoulders.
She has a very weird shoulder setup, but she's also an amateur porn star at the same time, which is the other thing that made it go viral. It wasn't just that she popped it off because reasons. Even if she was wearing a top the entire time, the entire effort is just like when shoutouts to the bitch that made me popular in the first place and gave me a career. Thank you, Natalie Casanova, for trying to put your 30-year-old titties on a stream. Thank you for that. Every single time something like this happens, it always goes viral because a woman tries to abuse the rules, and then that woman ends up falling out of the meta because the very same thing they claim about the people who are talking about the situation and analyzing it for the news story that it is, they end up becoming a victim of the thing they accuse everybody else of. In the example of Natalie Casanova, she was the one who was responsible for body painting going more viral and then becoming an acceptable factor. There were already other body painters that existed that did so while having the proper body coverage. Pasties, a t-shirt over it, whatever.
I wouldn't consider that proper. No. If I come up as a prude, I don't give a fuck. Twitch is a website where the minimum age to sign up for it is 13.
Yes, for kids. That's the main problem.
Yeah.
For kids.
I don't think any of it's appropriate to be on a website designed to appeal to people as young as 13.
And even back then, we didn't have, and we still don't have the way to keep them off the front page, and there is no system to do so. This was talked about by the person in question, but Carl will explain in the 4 minutes. Hold on. Boy, do I got wonderful news. Read it with me, chat. From author Dan Clancy, current CEO of Twitch. On Wednesday, we updated our sexual content policy. Our primary goal was making these updates to make our guidelines easier to understand and enforce. Part of this update included changes on how we treated fictionalized nudity. For years, through user voice and conversations, we heard from artists that our content policies were limiting and making this update.
Hey, Carl, did you know that you can fast forward by holding the mouse down on the screen now?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you don't have to keep switching back and forth between the speeds.
See, you're saying that because that annoys the fuck out of you.
It's partially because I don't think a lot of people know that, and it does annoy me.
I only discovered that yesterday.
You just like watching things at a normal speed. We're reactors. We move quickly. Stealing my own content at twice the speed. It's a novel concept, chat. In violation of the new policy. We worked quickly to remove that content and issue channel enforcement. Otherwise known as bans. Very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, I don't know. Let's look into it. I guess, Asmin, this means that it's not selective outrage. It's people actually addressing the issue. I guess the CEO of our website's a chud. I don't know. I think this is what I said the other video, like a couple 2 videos ago when I said, don't pull an act man. This is how you get yourself an act man. Welcome to your act man. Take it, Zachary. You deserve it. Back to the news article. That actually has to be explained. Hold on. I will pull it up real quick. And hopefully not scroll through porn on my timeline. Hopefully not. It is somewhere in here. I believe it's back down here. Correct, right here. This was what I think Jay, you retweeted this on the timeline. This is from my tweet. I will just put it properly in frame by clicking on this and then putting that there, and then you all see that there. And that's VsChat on Twitter. You can come yell at me if you're mad about it. This was 2 minutes and 15. This was direct reaction. There's 2 versions. The first version that I cut was the one I put up on the video on YouTube. The second version, which I think is a lot better to the point, is the one that I put up on Twitter. I have to give a take. Excuse me. Asmin Gold. Zachary. I'm writing only people who are getting mad or gatekeeping gamers and moral authoritarians. Zachary. There is not a moral issue with keeping kids away from porn. They are underage users, more than likely skirting the attention and lying on things that they shouldn't be lying on, like the do not interact 18 plus filter options that are telling them to stay away from the porn artists, the lewd coomer, VTubers, and all the other people intentionally baiting the horny coomer bait that is on Twitch as pay pigs to give them money for tier 3 sub donations in trade for sexual gratification through the form of parasocial relationships and monetizing them and preparing them for the transactional process of giving me money for titty, which then gets them into the mind loop that then gets them into adult content through OnlyFans. It has nothing to do with morals. It has everything to do with fucking responsibility, which sounds like morals, but realistically, if Twitch will not ban these streamers, and if they will not ban the users that are clearly lying about their ages to get onto the website and are accessing this shit because they want to fold like laundry every time there's an issue, it is our job as the audience members and the broadcasters to say, get these fucking kids out of the situation. If their parents won't do their job, and Twitch won't do their job, and they fold like fucking laundry, it's now on us. You have a responsibility in that, not as a streamer for everybody, but for your fucking self. Because you're not about to make an argument if you're going to let kids get involved in porn and get exposed to porn because you don't like it. I don't like it, don't watch it. By all means. When this shit starts affecting your bottom line, we're going to see you sing a different tune. But you have so much money, it probably doesn't matter to you in your mind. Stop being a grand standard and start having some standards and practices. Because someone ain't teaching me what standards, practices, morals, and values. God damn, you're so dumb.
Oh, God.
I mean, I agree.
When you put it on 2x
100%.
speed when you
It's
talk,
so
it's just
fast,
hilarious.
But I mean, I agree. I mean, it was very fast. Thank you, past fast, Carl. But like, yeah, I agree though. Like, it's clearly trying to create like this. There's no other way to see it than it's trying to create this porn pipeline.
It's always been a porn pipeline.
I don't know how else you could possibly see it. Twitch is a website where you could be. You can just say you can say I'm 13, and I talked about this on stream the other day too. Is that like now Twitch has not released, will not release, at least as far as I know, has not released their actual data on how many people under the age of 13 who are using the website. We have estimates, but Twitch itself will not release the data because we have to protect the anonymity of underage users. So we can't release our data on how many people under the age of 18 are using the website. They'll tell you how many people 18 plus are using it in those demographics, and it's mostly young people. But I really am curious how many of the people who are using Twitch, because you allow 13-year-olds to sign up for the website, how many of the people who use Twitch are 13 to 18? That's the real question. And that's presuming that 12-year-olds and 11-year-olds and 10-year-olds aren't just lying about it, because all you have to do is just say like, but at least porn websites, right? You have to click that yes, I am 18 button. Not that it does anything, but
you have
at
to
least
click
you
the
have to say you're 18.
You have to click the I am 13 button, but then the material is behind a premium pay ship, so then you have to put in credit card information so that you can't just watch the shit for free, or if they do, it's always those 15-minute samples from like a full 2-hour session.
That's because mommy puts her credit card in because from what mommy knows, Twitch is a gaming website. It's for Fortnite, you know? It's like, Timmy wants to watch his favorite streamer play Fortnite. What could possibly be wrong with that? But Timmy's not watching his favorite streamer play Fortnite. He's watching titty streamers.
He's watching the birds and the bees, and he's learning it from people like Helena Live.
And again, like, look, I know that porn is all over the internet, and children can get access to it very, very easily. But the difference is that Twitch is supposed to be a gaming website. First and foremost, it's not supposed to be a porn site. If you want it to be a porn site, rebrand it as a porn site, but then you'd lose all your sponsors, wouldn't you? Or you'd lose a whole hell of a lot of them.
Lose the sponsors, lose the payment processing system, because Stripe won't support it. PayPal technically won't support it, not unless it goes through the proper means. And the payment processors that will support it are the most expensive ones. And ultimately, the problem has never been, it's a gaming site, it's a gaming culture site. The problem is the culture. There hasn't been a culture of camaraderie and of content creators being on the same side as each other since 2014 by design. Because even streamers are in their fortress arcs. They don't react and talk to anybody because they don't want to grow off anyone. They only ever talk to themselves.
I have had the exact opposite.
Like, for me, and I should be able to explain on that simply from my position, it has always been people coming at me, talking shit about me, making lies up about me, and if I hear it after the fact, when I hold them to account and I hold them responsible for this shit, they're doing everything possible to run away to what they did. Every single time. They refuse to take responsibility for it. They refuse to take responsibility for the drama they cause about it. They refuse to take responsibility for anything they do about it because it's not about taking responsibility. It's about drumming up drama and clout.
I don't know about that. That's not been my
not
personal experience.
Everyone.
I found an extreme amount of fellowship with other YouTubers, and it's only gotten better over time. Because of that.
I'm gonna back up Aiden on this one and say that I run in a lot of different communities. I don't just like when I go watch people on Twitch and on YouTube, I watch like a lot of the Pokemon communities, a lot of these other more gaming forward communities that don't have the whole drama backed content. A lot of them do work together. It all depends on what part of the communities you're going to.
I 100%
and what energy you're
100%
putting
agree
into
with
it.
Since we're talking about movies and stuff, like look at the Fandom Menace, right? Like that community is so incredibly supportive of each other, and has been and has had needed to be, but has been for a really long time. Jay, you've been on EFAP and as have I. Like that whole community, Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, EFAP, those people that's a real, like, there's a lot of camaraderie there, and these are people who back each other up like hardcore. And I think, and that's great. I love that. But and it's funny because we all get called haters, right? Everybody is like, "Oh, you're a bunch of haters. You're all so bad. You're evil people. You don't like this shit." But like the nicest community on the internet. Like I'll show up in like some random chat, like some Friday Night Tights or something or whatever. Just show up in the chat. Whole chat's hail, 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 Aiden. Like I don't go on these shows very often, but those people are legitimate. Like there's camaraderie there. So I don't think it's that bad. It's just, I mean, you can get involved in bad communities, but
it can have a
not all like
perception.
that.
It can have a perception issue in certain places, but when I'm usually talking about this, I'm talking about the perspective of just the fucking stuck in the rut Twitch brains, the stuck in the rut Reddit brains.
That's probably true.
They don't believe in camaraderie. They believe in only ever benefiting themselves and cutting off anybody who doesn't, because it's always about the beating the obsession allegations, especially if they're big in drama. It's going to be less effective for people like Asmund Gold, because Zachary's already got his money. No one's going to stop Zachary from speaking. But if Carl says something to Zachary, and Zachary knows Carl says something right, he's not going to cover him being wrong. He's not going to cover that example. Why would he do that? That'd make him look bad.
I don't know. I've felt good about this stuff recently too. Like, just I don't know. Did you follow the completionist?
I
issue?
did, and boy, was that some shit. Gerard, what the fuck is wrong with you? My God. All those years of people harassing fucking Dankula, saying, where's the money, Dank? Where's the money, Dank? And for years, he had that fucking tweet up showing that he gave the money all to all to his fucking legal team. But y'all motherfuckers let this man use his goodwill, I'm air quoting, goodwill, from Normal Boots to build up a career for himself, where he broke bread with completionist Greg and basically tried to just stall out everybody, the same way that fucking Aaron Hansen did with JonTron. You guys tried for years.
He also threw JonTron under the bus.
Of course he did. Of course he did. I saw that last interview that he did, where it sounded like he was just trying to throw it under the bus so that he could get Mutahar and everybody else off his back. You guys allowed that.
But Muda, I called JonTron a racist, so I'm a good boy, right? No.
Like that entire
yourself.
That entire moment, that entire fucking microcosm in history where we witnessed a man basically excuse how actually my mother dying of the same shit, I kept the money. Fuck y'all niggas. He should have lost his career that week. Sure, he's getting bad press now, but there's going to be people who are going to forget. The Zoomers don't care. They're going to forget in a week. They're going to forget in a week. They haven't already stopped caring already. It's horrible that that's how it works, that that's how the news cycle goes. I shouldn't need to become Black Chud Logic in order to make sure that my points get heard. But if I gotta become Black Chud Logic, I'm gonna become Black Chud Logic. Because Lord knows shit posters stick together. Back to the news.
Oh, man.
Great deal of new content that was allowed in the Twitch policy. Much of the content creators met with community concerns. Concerns we share upon reflection. We decided we went too far with this change. Digital depictions of nudity present a unique challenge. AI being used to create realistic images and being hard to distinguish between digital art and photography. So effective today, we are rolling back the artistic nudity changes. Moving forward, depictions, real or fictional nudity, won't be allowed on Twitch, regardless of the medium. The restriction does not apply to mature rated games, but this clearly applies to hentai. Is what it is. Is what it is. Finding multiple standards for nudity and guidelines for not making other changes to the updated content policy. We're still in the process of pushing out this update to our community guidelines to reflect the change. It'll take a few days for the blog and new community guidelines to be translated. While I wish we could have predicted this outcome, no one can predict what the outcome is going to be. It's not your fault, baby boy. It's not your fault. You came on to a sinking ship. It's not your fault. It's Emmett Shear's fault. A little quick on that. Emmett Shear, the former CEO of Twitch, brought in after the last one left, is the one who is the biggest to blame for the downfall of the culture of Twitch and why it has no culture. Emmett Shear was brought in to make the fucking sinking ship profitable. Because I wouldn't say that Twitch was even or distributive. They were okay, but they've always been a money pit because it's always going to be at a loss to rehost and restream all these people. So keeping all the popular people that they can on the platform and putting them under a do not ban policy, which then got leaked from the Twitch leaks, is just how they have to be. That's just the nature of the business. Nothing can be blamed on that. Even though he is responsible for destroying the website after they were bought by Amazon in 2014, which is exactly when the fucking culture died, because they stopped seeing it as, we're gamers, we play games, we're together, and instead as a vehicle to onboard you to Amazon Prime, so that it could then kick back to your Twitch Prime. It has not had culture. It has been a place where people who are shitters in games go to harass the streamer in their chat room after they win the game. Literally last night, it's where people who have lost a game that is being played live on Twitch don't have the balls to come around when they're live, but then go to the next stream and harass them on the next stream. It's where people who are upset that they lost a game go to harass a streamer's Twitch audience and then lie about the streamer. Then they tell the other streamer, oh, they're crazy, they're dumb. They do an interview with them, the interview doesn't go the way they want, they remove the fucking interview off the air, then they show up to the website again to talk about how the streamer actually doesn't have true opinions, but then say, no, bro, it wasn't in a group of people, it was a one individual user. I was a lone agent. Please don't put it on my favorite streamer that I'm the moderator of in the chat room of, saying that you were retarded. Yeah. Please don't fuck me. Please don't fuck these opportunities. It's the game where when you're playing live and a person wants to talk shit about you and you're holding them to account, they try to brigade and gate brick through your server protections to try and scream the hard R on the stream to try and get your stream shut down. That's what Twitch has become. And it's horrible because that's the Twitch nature of the people playing those particular games. It's not the nature of the people on the platform. It's not the nature of the people who are the broadcasters. It's not even the nature of the people playing the game. It's the attitude of the people who have become a part of that Reddit brain culture where if it doesn't happen on Reddit, they don't care. Some companies like Riot Games are responsible for that because they're very big into the struggle sessions and they don't want their public dirty laundry to be aired anymore like it used to be in the past. They're scared of the name Richard Lewis. They're scared of actual reporters. They're scared of the name Devin Nash. They're scared of those individuals. So they pay the money so they can control the news so that they only ever hear that thing. And in terms of LSF, live stream fails, it's only ever been for medium to high level streamers. But recently, ever since Mizkip getting bad into the news for the shit that happened before, it's been nothing but an OTK dick suck. So you can't build from that platform, from that situation, if you're not okay with them. So if you say something negative about them, it's going to be a problem anyways. But if you had someone to blame for it, it's for Emmett Shear doing this shit. Because it's through Emmett Shear that you have a fucking Twitch moderator who's trying to fucking give pretty streamers and popular streamers a advance on their partnership and try to give them favoritism and extra Christmas bonuses because he wants to fucking masturbate to them in the chat. And it was only because that news story went viral that he got removed. It shouldn't happen like that. We shouldn't need SinglePlayerCarl to say it. You shouldn't need Aiden Paladin to say it. You shouldn't need to have Jay Longbone say it. You shouldn't need to have Asmon say it. You certainly shouldn't need to have Mahler say it. You shouldn't need to have Mahler be the face of, hey, you can't steal people's shit on a platform. You shouldn't need Jay to have to run to Mahler to put fucking Hassan Piker to task. You shouldn't need Destiny to be the voice of everybody who's going unheard because people are only willing to look at his stream to look over the manifesto and people claim, actually, these people are just fucking losers who have the manifesto ready because it's like, yeah, I have to do research to show your lies. Yeah, I actually have to do the work to demonstrate that you're full of shit. Yeah, I actually have to put together manifesto of these people who are literally obsessed with someone while they claim, why are you obsessed with me? So that they can continue being content cockroaches that fly under the radar because they're so fucking
Carl,
small.
I gotta interrupt because I have to, unfortunately, I have to go.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Carl, and thank you, Carl and Aiden and everybody.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, for tolerating me, but yeah.
It's okay. I will carry your torch. I will carry your torch to spirit, baby. Don't you worry. I got you.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Adios. Bye, everyone. Welcome everyone who's here. Where was I? Yes. It shouldn't be necessary that the shit posters that are on Twitter, wrapping it back around to what I was saying earlier, it shouldn't be on us, the shit posters, whether we pay for Twitter or not, to be the ones that make shit go viral. I think one of the newest accounts that's been going viral for these kind of things is an account by the name of Learning the Law. Him covering a lot of this gaming news has made it blow up to a lot of people's feeds. There's also, of course, the Ebony Maw, one of my mutuals, blowing shit up. Myself, Poe, Bulvert, Christina. That's Christina Tasty, for anybody who doesn't know. We should not have to be the voice of the fucking shit posters. Respect elves, for example, GM servers. You should not need us to be the voice of basic issues that anybody can address because you guys are not willing to tell the truth about details and problems on the platform. It should not fall to me to do that. But if we gotta get you motherfuckers involved by mocking the shit out of you, monetizing you for it, and blowing up, and then you getting mad and saying, how dare you become a new hero, hey, then that's what we're gonna have to do. That's what we're gonna have to do. Because it's fucking ridiculous. Part of our job is to make adjustments to serve the community. I apologize for the confusion this update is made. I don't know that voice. I don't know that voice. I don't know. I guess the website owner is a Judd. I guess the CEO of the business is a Judd. I guess he hates breasts. I guess because he hates breasts, he's gay. And all that other dumb shit you guys said on Twitter. Man, that's really wild. That's really wild, bro. Imagine if you can. Imagine, guys. Imagine. Imagine if you can with me, if it's even possible for you to, that with all this shit going on, you begin to realize that far into it, that we run a cam horror website. Boy, I couldn't imagine having that happen. Man, that's crazy.
And make sure to give a big thank you to Marina, guys, because if it wasn't for fucking horny Kummerbait VTubers who can't read and interpret the rules, who are ban heavy, he probably wouldn't have been capable of doing it so fast. Thank you, streamers like this, and IRL streamers like this. And if you're not mad about it, you can go to my stream. I'm live right now, so you can tell me how much of a big fat bitch you are, because you don't like it, I'm right.
And that last part there is probably the biggest issue above all. As I now pivot to just the time, I don't think we need to click on the articles for you to get the gist from where this begins. But direct your attention to the screen if you can. Marina. Let's get the facts out of the way first, because this is a big issue that the trans users on Twitter wanted to be upset about, and somebody had the audacity of calling me a monkey. I'm not even joking. They called me a monkey. They called me a monkey for saying something as it is, because they did not like the fact that I told the truth on a subject matter, because a lot of people are big in their fucking feelings because they don't want to admit that it's a goddamn issue.
When the left just like, they can't even hold their face their fake, mask anymore, and just like, because they are racist as fuck, and it's like, well, I just love when they drop it. They just drop the mask. It's just like, yeah, actually, I'm gonna just call you a fucking monkey. Holy shit.
In this case, it's transgenders calling me a monkey. So let's talk about the news story itself.
Of course.
The woman in I shouldn't even air quote it. I shouldn't even make the joke of air quoting it. The streamer in question, right here, is Marina. They are a VTuber. They are a transgender, male to female. They use a female body for the obvious reason that many of you can understand. It is because they, one, this is how they wish to be perceived and seen. They perceive themselves as a giant triple D having woman. Okay, more power to you. VR chat, you are allowed to express yourself that way. Sounds woman enough. You're clearly, because this was the thing, because they're the ones that I believe are most responsible for this, because it was really fucking dumb. Because as you can see here in the news story, XQC slams Twitch for allowing nudity while keeping gambling banned. Kai Cenat fans furious with Nicki Minaj showing up 4 hours late to her Twitch stream. Twitch art category overrun by explicit furry and anime content amid new rules. Streamer banned after drawing the Prophet Muhammad on stream. Nicki Minaj helps Kai Cenat break his peak Twitch viewership. Our Twitch art streamers banned en masse as artistic nudity gets misunderstood. Kai Cenat thanks Twitch for blessing platform with new sexual content guidelines. This is the I'm finna have 10 women twerking on stream. Thank you, Twitch. Thank you, Twitch. Pay Money Woman banned on Twitch after looking at explicit art amidst the guideline changes.
Right.
Twitch reverts artistic nudity guidelines after going too far after 24 fucking hours. Twitch streamer shatters hype train record with 9k subs. This is Pirate Software, former Blizzard Entertainment developer. Dr. Distress says Amazon should axe Twitch after autistic nudity fiasco. Topless Twitch streamer goes live in public and gets stream sniped. Twitch arts category hits record viewership thanks to artistic nudity. Rule change. Topless Twitch streamer. This is the censor bar meta now. Topless Twitch streamer wears censor bars as controversial meta evolves. Poker streamer banned blatantly tweeting on Twitch. How to watch Ninja's YouTube stream. We're never gonna let you slide with the I don't see enough movement, Ninja. You're never beating that again. I'm so sorry. Twitch viewers demand changes as topless streamers hop into implied nudity meta. XQC responds to Dream viral fake tweets DM. Twitch streamer devastated as stealthy Pickpocket's phone. Dream apologized to Pokéname over Sims trashing fans. Amaranth, I don't know, Caitlin. I thought your husband was making you do this shit. I thought your husband. I thought your husband was responsible for you being a whore. Go ahead. Go off, Queen. Go off.
Yeah, I want to go the fuck off. Because like when I remember when that shit popped off like a year ago or however long ago it was,
2 years.
said, 2 years ago, I said like this. I said on Twitter, I was like, this looks suspicious as fuck. I don't believe this. I'm sorry, like I just didn't believe it. I didn't believe that it's like, oh, I was forced into being a thought on Twitch and selling my nudes and lewds because my abusive husband forced me to. Now, I didn't say she was lying. I said it was suspicious, I believe. Now, again, it's been 2 years, but that was about the gist of what I said. I got so much hate from a bunch of randos on Twitter being like, oh my god, how terrible, she's been abused, her husband abused her, and she was forced into sex work against her will, and all this shit. And then if you don't recall, she went back to like, after they supposedly broke up, and she's like, oh, he's abusive, he abused me, forced me into sex work. She was like wearing sweatpants and sweatshirts for like a month. Then she went right back to doing the same shit, by the way. And then it was like, oh, now you're doing it by your own volition. You go, girl. Wow, that's incredibly empowering. How great for you. It turns out she never broke up with the guy in the first place. They never even break up. They're still married, I guess, or something. They're still together. So it's like now she's wearing a fucking like black sensor bar made out of cardboard on top of her tits while she's shirtless, naked on stream. And I do want to say, like, by the way, this art thing, that one really actually gets under my skin. So you want me to go off? Okay.
Go off.
Yeah, I was classically trained in the arts. I went to art school, make your Hitler jokes, whatever. But so, yeah, I actually went to art school, unlike Hitler, and in high school, not in college, But one of the first things that you learn when I first saw a nude model. We had a nude model when I was 14, yes, sophomore year. So, and like they prepared us for it before. I was like, yeah, but there's a difference between naked and nude. Nude is the natural state of the human body. That's just the human body existing. So like, and like when you're drawing a nude model, by the way, like they're standing there or sitting, like they're sitting. And you paint it or draw it in order to understand anatomy, in order to get the natural state of the human body. And it's mostly anatomical stuff is what you're learning when you do nude drawings. But I mean, or paintings. Naked.
Like your French girls and all that.
Right. Naked is the lack of clothing. Nude is the natural state of the human body. Nakedness is a lack of something. That's how artists define it, right? So nakedness is lacking something. That's what these women are. They're explicitly they're not existing as nude in the natural state of the human body. They are showing you their tits because it's explicitly about it being not just the natural state of the human body. It's about I am showing off my nakedness. Yeah, so that's why I use the word naked and not nude. I'm very explicit on that. Sorry, that's my thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Oh, big true. Because as I put this on the screen. Laura hopes in the mid this is not gonna be fucked. This is where the Twitch meta is evolving right now. Because I know who this fucking piano player is. I know who she is.
Oh yeah, she's great though. Like she's talented.
Yeah, Lara 6683. She is a great piano player. She's already been popular. She already had an audience. She didn't need to do any of this shit. She's only doing it because it's fucking meta. And because it's a great opportunity. Because the other part that isn't going along with this, of course, that everybody understands intrinsically, is when you choose to use your body to get shit on the platform, where the men can't do the same thing, and the women are given special treatment, the women are going to do what is easier. Especially if what they want to do is to take advantage of something that is clearly getting them money. Because just like how people were watching illegal content that they shouldn't have, the content that they didn't own, didn't stream, didn't have and use, they were clearly getting an advantage that if it were how Destiny had predicted all the years back, they should have gotten their streams banned, they should have gotten their streams canceled, they should have lost their advertisers and sponsors, but that didn't happen. Because the meta of Twitch has always been people getting in where they can fit in. And it has always been...
I've never understood how Twitch has been able to survive.
Because
like, YouTube's been through so much shit.
Mostly. That's the short answer. The short answer...
It's not by Amazon.
Well,
I think
it was
the real
before.
reason.
It was even before they were owned by Amazon.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
It has been sponsors. It has been money directly going to the streamers because not only did they have the Twitch, they also had Patreons. They also sold merch. They also sold content. They have sold white label products. It's been just basically conglomerizing and becoming capitalist prudes that would tell other people, don't do what I did, but also I should be allowed to be the voice of the internet. In the terms of Asmongold, Zachary is basically the face of Twitch. In terms of, he's the face of Reddit. Every single time an opinion comes out, they run to him. That has been the element of what has allowed it to get to here. Because they have the most milquetoast opinion that is responsible for making it possible. Where they basically say, no, it's not a problem. Me, big streamer number 1 through 500, said that it's okay. Therefore, women shouldn't be punished for it. But then they push harder, and it becomes ridiculous. Now, in terms of this user that was on the video, the Marina individual, they are transgender. And when I gave my takes, a bunch of transgender users out of fucking nowhere said, actually, we did call them out. And it's like, no, I'm not talking about you, no-name streamer who has no power whatsoever. I'm talking about all the individuals who claim that they love transgenderism, that they want to be recognized for their personality and for their humanity and their personhood and who they are as a person. You know, people like Sonia and Arwitz, the individuals that you guys hate because they aren't trans correctly. You individuals hate when you see people like Fenster, who identifies as a man, who dresses as a cross-dresser because it helps him get content and clicks, which I guess that's the extreme version of sneaky.
Yeah.
You guys hate when those individuals do things. You hate when Sophia does things because you don't like that they're trans and against you. So when motherfuckers like me talk about this and talk about that shit, they have the audacity of claiming, actually, you are XXXX words. Now, this person has tried to block me on everything, but I have the screen cap there on one of my tweets, so I can simply go pull that up, and I can read to you what the fuck they said, because, oh boy, did it piss me off. Let me go ahead and put that in a private window, and then pull it up to the original tweet. The point is that they wouldn't feel that way if they were literally like this in every situation, and I played the last clip that came from that video. You niggas refused to call Marina out because you're big fat pussies. Because you want to be anti-trans when people are just anti-retards. And that's the logical conclusion, because the post itself is replying to something that is actually now deleted. Basically, it was a post that was saying, people are using this as an opportunity to be anti-trans. And it's like, no, they're not anti-trans, they're anti-jackasses. You guys are acting like fucking jackasses. Because what Marina was doing on her live stream, I say her, because I'm respectful. Please don't fuck me, Twitch. Please don't fuck me, Twitch. People were being respectful on her live stream and telling her, you are in violation of the rules. Marina was banning them from the chat, was bragging on the chat, saying I can do it, I'm allowed, it's justified, it's acceptable. They got banned. Other people were getting banned for the thing that they shouldn't have been banned for. They came back with a half fucking crocodile tear apology and went unbanned after a day. Yes, she and her wife got dropped from Glitch Energy, but that's the barest minimum of punishment that they actually received. Because a ban, as you all should know, if you have watched clips from Pirate Software talking about it, when you are banned, you do not get money from your reinvestment of the auto update of your Twitch subscription. It automatically stops it. So, if you get banned, and you are a person with a lot of subs, you can lose a potential part of your audience and money. If you get banned for 3 days, it's a problem. If you get banned for 7 days, it's a big problem. Ratios, numbers, basically somewhere between 7 to 21% of your concurrent viewership, and then you have to rebuild all that shit up on top of already getting there for a second. Supposedly a 3-day ban, only ever actually served a day and some few hours of it.
Of course.
So, people like myself noticed this and mentioned, listen, the reason people are against this is that people disassociate from you guys because every single time there's an issue that happens, you guys are wrong and loud on every issue you talk about. Going as far back as with Hogwarts, even an example. I can actually find you an example from my media page. Right over here, actually. People showing up from supposed base trans posts, fuck your Hogwarts house, protect trans kids. People like me quoting, fuck Twitter drama, we enjoy the Hogwarts. People don't care that you're trans. They want you to stop being fucking shitters, crying and bitching and whining and moaning about everything and saying people are bullying us. They're not. You came out of nowhere with your fucking opinions, and you act like assholes the entire fucking time you do so. But for this person, for this opinion, this particular post in question, I can read to you what was said, because this person didn't delete it. Literally, what is the correlation here, you absolute fucking bonobo?
Jesus Christ.
Wow. My God.
And of course, I, as an African-American, me as an African-American, who is hilarious and funny, I just did the normal thing I would do. Imagine, first, calling a black multi-ethnic streamer a monkey, unironically. Second, imagine not understanding that people find it annoying that people like this literally somehow are oblivious to the most common critique of trans users on the internet. It could not be me. Quite literally, if you just type and search into the search bar on Twitter, Marina Twitch into the search bar, and you scroll down, you will literally find all the discourse right there. You being ignorant is your problem, not mine. From this post and me saying you guys are not calling them out, you're not doing your part, you're not doing your job, they decided to go off and say, actually, you're anti-trans, Carl. You don't understand shit. And I just fucking lost it because I'm fucking annoyed, because how the fuck could you be so stupid not understand it? It's the exact same fucking issue with individuals like Johnny Somali going to Japan and making foreigners look fucking retarded, leading to them being extremely fucking hypervasive upon foreigners being in their country, that a foreigner cannot go to certain places or even be in public shops unless they have a goddamn Japanese escort. It's the exact same mechanic! It's the exact same issue! You look dumb in public. You being wrong and loud makes everybody else think, wow, is everybody else like this? I guess we better start making some rules around here. And everybody else screaming in the distance, no, 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 wait, please, no, 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 they're not with us, they're not associated with us.
Exactly. Exactly.
We shouldn't have to do
Jesus
that.
Christ. I was just looking through my Twitter thread on the post I made about Amaranth on that. Legitimately got, like, I really thought, that tweet kind of blew up that I made about it. I just retweeted something about a Duke Zero article about it, and I still got some simps. Be like, you're just jealous because you're fat. You're just jealous because you're ugly. And it's like, are you kidding me? First of all, fat. Come on, like.
Haven't seen Aiden. I can attribute. She is not the fat. She is not the fat.
No, I mean, I literally have the opposite problem. But like, Jesus H. Christ. But just like, yeah, just. How are you defending her at this point? I mean, because they got mad at me, like I said, like a year ago, 2 years ago, when she first pulled this shit. Like, oh, she's a victim. Okay, then who's victimizing her now? You said that she was selling porn the first time, which was her boyfriend made her do it, and now it's like, husband made her do it, and they're still together, by the way. So what's the and that's what my exact tweet was. What's the excuse now? And they're just like, well, you're just mad because you're ugly and fat. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, how do women get simps like this? Holy shit!
They give them really good parasocial messages. They give them really good parasocial messages on the side, and then when they give them those parasocial messages, they tell them, "Listen, baby, you just keep giving me $50 a month, I'm gonna protect you. I'm here for you."
I can't even fathom this shit. How do you like? I mean, look. I'm not saying Amaranth's unattractive or anything, like, but just that I think she's an attractive woman. But like, Jesus Christ, she's just selling porn. I mean, literally, she has an OF as far as I know. She's done full fucking porn videos. So like, what is that? And she did that after supposedly her husband was forcing her to do it. So like, what the? I didn't even know that. I only found that out after the thread. Is that like after that? That's when she started the OF and like made full on fucking like hardcore porn. So who was forcing you to do all this shit, Amaranth? I'm so sick of this shit.
I will interject. It's not that it was hardcore porn. It was that basically, I think if it was her husband, because I don't know who it was. I know the skin tone of the guy in question, because before, this was a whole back.
Did she get dick down on camera?
Yes
or no?
Yes, she got dick down on camera.
Okay, then that's porn.
But the thing is that basically, it was a fake penis, is the thing. It wasn't a real dick. The guy was wearing a cock sheath. It was a fake penis.
Oh my God.
And it was a whole fucking meta arc.
Fake penis?
Yes, it was a whole meta arc where people were calling her Scamaranth. people inside of the fucking websites that these videos are being uploaded to were just fucking roasting the shit out of her because she couldn't even do the porn for real. That was the thing that pissed them off. She wasn't willing to actually like be on camera. She wasn't Lena the Plug. She wasn't Adam Tutu getting busted out and getting dicked down to the duties by Jason Love. Eyes rolling back in her head when she's taking a creep. No, she didn't even do Solo Girl. She had her. If it's her husband, I don't know who the guy was, but if it was her husband, she had her husband put on a cock sheath and basically have fake jizz on her chest. That was it. Because the most she had ever done before was basically reselling and re-uploading the same porn shit. Carl, how do you know this? Because motherfuckers did the work for me. I ain't gonna go buy this shit.
How you knew this, Carl?
I ain't gonna go buy this shit. Also, this is me. How do you think I know? She was re-uploading the same fucking hosted shit that she was putting onto her OnlyFans, onto her fucking other streaming site links. She was double dipping and triple dipping on the same content. Then she started doing the fake porn videos. Then she pivoted from my husband of 6 years that was actually a secret husband you guys weren't supposed to know about until the details came out from It's a Gundam and SinglePlayerCarl years back, by the way. Literally the thing that kicked off that entire problem from the meta. Because I talked about this before when it was fucking Natalie Casanova trying to get angry at me in the DMs because I was just roasting her ass by showing the information uptick from Google Trends on her name going viral along with her titty streams going viral. Ever since back then, either her or her secret husband doing it, or her hiring some dude to do it on camera with her, it's been a whole fucking thing with her. And the issue is that they all do it on the parasocial relationship aspect, which is what leads to people's having to say, this is a fucking standards, practice, morals, and values issue. But then you have individuals like Zachary coming in and saying, no, you guys just don't like the fact that these people are doing it because they're popular and beautiful and you're not getting successful careers off of it, which was the same thing that Natalie Casanova tried to say. But the issue isn't, no, we're not jealous because of your fame. We're annoyed because we know that if it was a man doing it, if Pay Money Woman got into a Speedo and got on air on camera and was showing his fucking jiggly bits while trying to look at your jiggly bits, he's going to get banned, period. If Carl went shirtless for like a half second trying to put on another shirt and I didn't close my fucking webcam all the way, I know my ass is getting banned and clapped. Motherfucker does the hair, it's gonna be a 3-day ban.
It's complete. That's the biggest fucking red flag. I mean, all of it's a red flag, but I think probably the most egregious aspect is that they banned Pay Money Wubby for being on air in a Speedo, and it's like, okay, so excuse me, it's not art when men do it. Just thanks for showing your whole ass, Twitch. Thanks for showing your whole ass and all these women's whole asses at the same time. Absolutely fucking ridiculous.
And the way
this is not about art.
Like, the way that it all ties back together is that the Marina shit and all of the girls using in this case, the first topless, just off camera, you don't know if they're wearing shirts or pasties or not shit. That is what made the CEO put out what is currently on the screen, which is the December 15th sexual content policy update. Because Dan Clancy is taking over from Emmett Shear. This guy understands what he's dealing with. So as soon as this shit happened on Wednesday, they immediately put out the update and reverted back to the old rules on Thursday. Because all they saw on the front page, nonstop, titty streamer, titty streamer, titty streamers, titty streamers, titty streamer, titty streamer, titty streamer, titty streamer.
The thing is that if you go to Twitch right now, it's still
there.
way.
It's still there. Yes.
So like whatever they changed didn't change anything.
They're
not banning anybody. They're not removing these people from doing it. They're still doing it.
Basically what they did is that the version of the policy that they reverted, because it's here on this change, effective a day, rolling back artistic nudity changes, depictions of real or fictional nudity won't be allowed on Twitch regardless of the medium. This not applying to mature rated games. So you can still have your butt fucking inside of The Last of Us Part 2, guys. But
right, that's fine.
It also applies to emote specific standards of nudity and sexual content, which basically, if you have an emote that is even without a furry butthole of a character or an animal, or even a fucking Among Us character twerking, that's not acceptable. That's not allowed.
You can't have like the thick Among Us.
Can't.
Wow,
It's really bad. Even if it's like a cross-platform emote, because there are websites that exist to allow you to have emotes both on Twitch, YouTube, and on Twitter across multiple places where there's a chat room. Even on Twitch, they will remove that shit, even if it's your highest used emote in your channel. They don't care, because they have to course correct constantly for girls like this and women like this, which then leads to the question of now that you're at the point where you have a meta of now we've gone from it's not on the camera to it's very clear they're not wearing anything underneath it, but it's censor barred on the camera, or it's very clear they're naked, but there's a censor bar that's blocking out that little bit. Now we're to the point where it's pixelation. When are we going to get to the point where it's just going to be what is currently right here as of 2 hours ago from Carver Fisher? Mwah! Thank you, Meta, for evolving while we're on camera. Twitch meta fiasco escalating as men work their Joy-Cons on camera for censor bar streams. When we get to the point where it's a female issue, and now you got men embracing it and doing it, because this is Tectone, what do you want them to do? Like, what do you want them to do? Like, Async's getting in on it? What do you want them to do? You said women
they're gonna have to. Twitch is gonna have to answer this fucking question.
Yes.
Why is it only artistic when women do it? You're gonna have to answer this question, Twitch degenerates. You're going to have to.
If I may interject here, I think I know what they want men to do. They want men to be in hijabs. Oh, the women, they can be as promiscuous as possible, but the men, you gotta be wearing those Middle Eastern dresses. If you ain't wearing that, 10,000 years of bans.
I mean, I look forward to seeing them. I look forward to seeing them try to fucking because they're gonna have to make a statement about it. Is why'd you ban Pay Money Wubby?
Like,
why?
Banning him for even doing the Speedo in the first place is a wild concept, but then banning him while they're still doing this is the same shit. Because if that's the logic, Async's gotta get banned today. This was 8:03 a.m. He's gotta get banned today. It has to be banned today.
It's been this Twitch meta shit is so stupid. Like when they were doing the hot tub meta, and it's like, well, it's okay for us to because that was originally it was just like, well, we can be in bikinis as long as we're in a context appropriate location. So we're gonna go get a hot tub, fill it with McDonald's ball pit balls, and be like, oh look, it's context appropriate because it's a hot tub, even though there's no water in it.
Like,
the
whole meta shit, as a whole thing, the whole meta shit is just people basically being opportunistic. So,
yes, of course.
When the day comes, if the day ever comes, I don't think they'll have that true discussion because they will never have somebody like me on that panel. They're gonna invite people like Zach.
No,
they're gonna invite people.
Twitch are a bunch of insane lefties and troons. Wait, repeat myself. They're gonna.
You're gonna get so banned.
I don't care. Sorry, Carl. I care about getting you banned. I don't want to get you banned. Sorry, am I allowed to say that word? Oh, sorry.
I actually don't know, but I understand what you mean.
Is that a bad word? Is it that bad? Oh,
it's
no. I guess
for trans individuals, it is a slur only because of basically.
Is it a slur, Bill? Oh shit, Bill also said it's a slur. I didn't know it was a slur. I mean, I guess it's a slur.
It's a word that's always been used in the back corners of the internet, but the people who use it basically it's the Nazi version. It's the version of the word as comparably bad as Nazi. I don't use it because I don't believe in using it, but I know why people use it. It comes from the 4chan boards. That's why they hate it so fucking much. It comes from 4chan.
I've ever seen people use because I use 4chan, dude. Like so. Oh, Bill is asking me if I need a proxy slur. I'm all right now.
Just message me the bloody.
Einhorns.
Well,
you know that.
Look, I think the reason why we used that word for a long time is because it was kind of like it was a 4chan word, and then it wasn't as because the I won't say the other word that the trans that ends in a IE. I'm not going to say that because I know that one is considered a slur, but I didn't know that they gotten mad about the other one. But I guess they caught on to it. It was just a thing like, who gives a fuck? Call me a cracker. Jesus Christ, I don't give a shit.
That actually, if I may interject,
you're allowed to say that on Twitch. I've been told you're allowed to say that on Twitch, Carl. You can call me. You can call me every fucking potential slur for white people. Go ahead. I don't give a fucking damn.
I don't wanna know.
I have thought of doing like Weird Al Yankovic style parodies of rap songs where the one songs where I'm 100%. You know that one. Colin knows the one.
Yes.
That, but instead of that word, it's cracker, 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 cracker. I'm 100% cracker.
Okay. I understand.
Will
I
I
see.
ever?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
The ultimate question that needs to be had, because first, the problem with the cartoon word, the reason they hate that word is that word isn't a word against specifically just
it means
normal trans
trans
user.
goon. It's just it's a combination of words.
Yes, because they hate the fact that people know what that is, because the majority of the people who are doing it are fucking goons. Basically, there are a bunch of people who have to pay for something awful that exists inside of the Reset Era, that have multiple fucking doxing discords that exist only to fucking stalk people about the issues.
They're terrible people.
That spend 24 hours online
Goons.
fucking harassing people over fucking basic garbage nonsense that doesn't matter anything. And they hate that word being used most often, not just because
it describes them.
Exactly.
That's why they don't like it.
Exactly. They hate that word is specifically meant for them. So they're trying to get it to the point where if the people heard that word used, they associate it as, oh, they're talking about all trans people. Like, no. They're talking about
you specifically. I am not talking about all trans people. I am not talking about all people who identify as transgender. I am talking about a very specific subsection of people who are transgender goons. That's what the word means. However, I would like to say, all of I'm sure you've seen the list of slurs for white people, and I love all of them. My favorite one, though, is no purpose flower. It's definitely my favorite.
I like Mayo Muncher and Mayo Monster.
Mayo Monkey, Mayo Muncher, those are good. But no purpose flower is my favorite. I love that one. I love no purpose flower.
Based. But like, they're not ever going to be able to address this problem, because just like that entire conversation about cartoon, that is a culture issue. If you don't understand the culture behind the use of that word, you can't even address the problem.
Right, they don't even understand what it means.
So if you have people try to talk about the Twitch meta, and they don't understand the reason people do the meta, as remember guys, meta means most effective tactic available. If the most effective tactic available for a person to get an audience and to go viral is to abuse the rule system, get a ban, then come back to more money, because they will eventually unban you if you're a woman.
Of course.
And you will then basically go viral, and people will go to your stream not because they like you for your personality, but because you're showing body. Your career is probably only going to continue going forward the more you play into the sex shit. Which is an element of Adam 2 and him playing up the sex shit with his wife Lena the Plug, who only went viral 6 years and a kid back ago because she was willing to do she was willing to try to climb her audience to 1 mil subs, and then when she hit 1 mil, she was going to do a porn tape with him. That's where all that shit started. If the shit had been handled properly from YouTube, they would have banned her the moment she announced that, and the moment that she put out the sex tape, they would have made sure to ban her channel and prevent her from making shit. She wouldn't have been able to position and to even pivot into doing porn shit if she had lost her fucking audience from doing such. People doing this have to deserve the exact same thing too. Not because I hate them because they're popular, because they're rich, because they have money, because you're jealous of them, because they're pretty and you're not. No. Bitch, I'm beautiful. My wife loves me. And I love her. And her body.
Like, again, that's the thing. Like, people who are it's so much insecurity.
It's fucked.
People, you know what I mean?
Yes, because it's insecurity 100%.
It's all insecurity from all these people, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, why are you so weird?
The way that I see it,
just be normal. For fuck's, be normal, please. Just try.
The way that I see it is that it's insecurity on 3 parts. You have insecurity because 1, you know your audience is built off your body, and just like how Natalie Casanova quit streaming because she aged out. Once you use your body for your popularity, you put your career on a timer. The same way that any porn star can put their career, quote, on a timer. You come in, you're young, you can basically pass for 18 even though you're like 26 or 24, and slowly as you start getting older, you have to transition from teen girl, get slammed by big black guy, 4K, to older mom, just at home chilling with stepson. You have to start doing more and more shit to keep people interested. Why don't you actually
be interesting instead of just... This is what I don't understand.
That's the other part. That's the second part. They're insecure because they know they don't have talent. They're insecure about that because they know they use their body for it, and they know they don't have a fucking skill. You have VTubers who don't even show their body at all on camera, who are scared to go to fucking tryouts and audition meetings to join a fucking VTuber group because they feel like they don't have talent. Despite if they have good camera work, they have good audience work, they have multimedia skills, they can edit. They're scared to actually say they have a thing that they can do because they feel like they don't have anything. They just want to be live and on camera and talk to people. Yet that's a skill in and of itself. And they're scared because they have that level of imposter syndrome because of shit like this and already having that inside of them. And then the third part.
Isn't Nudity a really good example of this too? Because she's
yes, baby!
having an audience, and then now she's doing OnlyFans.
Well, see, it's worse than OnlyFans. She got a fucking deal with Jerkmate. She's fully into porn. She's fully into porn, guys. How quick did that fucking happen? That was 5 years. Granted, she didn't have to have a baby in order to make that transition like Lena did. But literally 5 years of you trying to just sit there on camera, eating pasta bowls and trying to harass people using the copyright system to strike them. And now you're doing shit for Jerkmate. Oh, smallest violin for you, sweetheart. Oh, you so deserve it. That's so horrible. But that's what has to happen in that situation. Because that's the third problem. First, they have the fucking need to use their body to get a career. Because they don't want to play a video game. They don't want to do the work and actually grind at something. That even if it happens to be something like Fortnite or the finals or fucking Stardew Valley, they can't be bothered to play a video game. Because they don't want to play a video game. They hate video games. They hate video games. They hate video game culture. They hate anything to do with the people who are a part of that culture. And especially if they happen to be transgender. Not only if, but most of the time, it's the influencing part for them. They want to corrupt what people love so that they can insert themselves in it once we end up having to abandon it once it becomes toxic. They use all of that, and that level of self-awareness weighs on them over the years to the point where they know they only have the thing because they did this thing once. So now they have to become super militant on that. They have to become super protective. They have to become super gatekeeping. They have to cry and whine if somebody they don't like joins Twitch rivals, if they're facing somebody inside the FGC who's supposedly anti-trans or whatever, especially if it's somebody like LTG, who quite literally is like the trans blocker, because so many of them are so negative and so horrible that they usually end up getting banned right after they try to get him removed from an event. All those two factors weigh on each other until it gets to the third factor. They have the self-consciousness about not having talent. They have the self-consciousness without using their body. And then they have the self-consciousness of being jealous of the other women who are going to replace them as they come up. If you want to look at it from the position of someone like Natalie Casanova, she was just starting to hit the age of 30, around the time that she went viral for that fucking clip that she had with Plain Rock at that E3 where she harassed the booth babes, myself and Siren Cove. She was now past 30, several years removed from that, when she went viral again for Bully Hunters. All the girls that are currently doing this are the people she was scared were going to eat her lunch. So she needed to do more and more shit to keep people interested. But people started losing interest, not just because she's waning. All she ever does is cry bully. She comes out as a new gender every 3 months. Now she's discovered she's pansexual. Now she's discovered that she's sapphic. It doesn't keep people there because she doesn't have a personality to speak of. Because her personality is I hate people showing their bodies, but hey, look at my body. That does not make for a longevitous career. And then she doesn't talk to people, and she runs away from situations that she creates. And she says everybody who speaks about her is obsessed with her. They're jealous of her. If they're a man, they want to fucking jerk off to her. And the only reason people criticize her is because they hate her. But if it's a woman that dislikes her and has criticisms of her, it's because she's got internalized misogyny. All the same bullshit. All those things, every time. All those things build up to be the three factors that keep this issue going when it comes into the perpetuity of keeping a Twitch meta going. Because the people who are abusing the meta will never be called out by people who already have established their bag. Pokimane doesn't care because the main's not only negative and toxic in her own right. She got cookies to sell, man. She got cookies to hustle, guys. Listen, $7 is a lot if you're not a broke boy.
Broke boy.
Aspen Gold, here's the carrot. He's the front page of Twitch. All he's gotta do is say true every other time and watch somebody else's content while putting his face in the thumbnail, just like all the other content thieves. He ain't gotta do that much, and even if he did, he's going to have the person on air. I can't believe that
Pokimane got away with that, essentially. Like, with his very little... I mean, she got some criticism for it, but people were just kind of like, whatever.
She didn't get the kind of criticism she got, and I'll talk about it in a second. But let me get this thing done. She doesn't get the criticism she gets. He's able to get away with shit. People like fucking XQC, technically he never beats the allegations. If you can even understand what he's saying at the time. Because that level of ego comes in with the, well, people only have criticisms of me because they don't like me being popular. And then when he gets a criticism, he's like, listen, bro, I wear your house on my watch. I wear your house on my wrist. I wear your house on my wrist. So every single time that name ever comes up, normal people looking at the issue are like, oh my god, these people are just fucking ego-driven. Are all streamers like this? And then we get that perception that reflects back on us poorly that makes everybody else get brought down in the industry. Never mind people like Carnage or whatnot. Never mind people like myself. Never mind people like Horror. But it just reflects poorly on us as a culture issue.
It's yeah, I don't think that...
Take your time. Take your time.
I think that, like, it doesn't reflect badly on every... It might do that to a certain degree, but, I don't think it necessarily reflects poorly on everybody.
In the general position of, like, on a platform at the same time, I'm not gonna be directly affected by the shit. But when it comes to, like, the mainstream perception, the industry perception, when people hear about, oh, people stealing my content, they're watching MasterChef on Twitch, the one time that Gordon Ramsay actually acknowledged it, that has a giant effect behind it. As in, they're gonna wake the giant, Aiden. The second somebody actually decides we're gonna fuck them for every dollar amount is the day streaming will become even harder to monetize. Fuck the being able to have merch. We won't be able to broadcast properly.
I wish he would though, because like I wish they all. It's insane because like this has always confused me, right? Because like here on YouTube, we're on real high standards. Like yeah, you can't want to put more than 6 seconds. Jay said this when she was talking about her review of Robin Hood, right? More than 6 seconds of a video, you better hope you get lucky of anything that it doesn't get copyright claimed. The whole video, because that's how they do it. Is it like you played 7 seconds, 8 seconds of a clip to make a point about something? You better pray that whole video of yours doesn't get copyright claimed, because it will. And then that like they'll let it go up, but whatever stupid company is gonna fucking try to monetize your entire video for them. So you don't get any ad rev. And that's why even the video I'm making right now is dangerous, because like I don't know how Mueller does it, and the people who make these huge long videos, but like I mean this video is long as fuck that I'm working on, but still which I think actually it's really long, it might be better, because then it's too much and then it makes it easier to fight the copyright claim, because you can be like, hey, this video comprises, or this clip comprises 0.0001% of the whole video, so fuck off. But still, I mean, that's the stuff we have to deal with on YouTube. On Twitch, they'll just play, and they'll play movies. They'll sit there and watch entire TV shows, and Twitch doesn't give a shit. I have no idea how this is allowed to go. It's been going on for years and years, and that's why, like, the Twitch audio. I mean, like, I know you're streaming on Twitch right now, Carl, but like, I really think that the general Twitch streamers, people who are primarily Twitch streamers, they genuinely do not understand why YouTubers are comparatively like so concerned about copyright stuff. They don't get it, because they don't have any issues.
They haven't had the fear of God put into them. They haven't had the fear of God put into them at all.
I don't know how Twitch gets away with it though. How does Twitch get the fuck away with it?
Because they're under the radar mostly. For us, because we live in this world, we're like, of course we know about this shit. But if I was to go into the other room and explain this to my mother, she wouldn't understand unless I was to put the fucking clip in her face. That's as simple as it is. Normal people who, they wake up, they watch their cable television, they watch their Netflix, they don't pay attention because they're not involved, they don't have any interest in it, they're not in that streamer world, they don't talk about the shit, they don't do the shit, they don't understand it. Some people who used to be streamers, like a personal friend I was actually able to reconnect with recently when I was inside of Publix, she used to be a broadcaster along with one of my personal friends. She stopped doing it because she just didn't enjoy it. She's happy with the man she's with. It's not the world that she's in. She doesn't have to concern herself with it. Most people don't have to concern themselves with it. But when little Timmy's watching this big booby streamer on stream, his mom is going to ask and is going to wonder why, what is happening here? And if she does investigation into it, it's going to become another Million Moms of America moment. It's going to be something that'll end up being on headline news, day talk news, fucking The Rising Hill with fucking Crystal Ball and, I don't want to be fucked up. I know his name is Sagar Patel, I think. Crystal Ball and Sagar Patel of Rising Hill. I hope I got that right. But
I don't know.
it's going to end up on scenes like that, where you're going to have people using it as a talking point to try and get people to vote for them and shit. Where they're going to be saying, we'll take the titties off Twitch. It's an issue that only happens on the underside of the culture of content creation and entertainment, because the entertainment factor is usually being seen by the younger generation. The millennials and the zoomers are the ones who are constantly keeping the content going and keeping the conversation going, because they're the ones that are actually watching the content, consuming the content, involved in the content, possibly being content creators who are editors for the people doing it, or the cosplayers who are involved in the scene doing it. And it's always the scene of OnlyFans users, actual little legitimate amateur porn stars, or cosplayers that like doing the lewd cosplays that are super intended to be meta attractive. Where it's very clear, this woman who goes to the gym literally 20 hours out of a week, frequently working on body, legs, arms, shoulders, on a repeat, doing until failure sets. Of course she's going to show this off. We're not against that shit. We would like to see more people doing that. But at the same time, they're not doing it to the etiquette of, I want to look good so that I can look good in my cosplays. It's, I want to look good in my cosplays so I can get people to go to my stream, so they can click on my body, so they can sub to be a fucking cuck to me. Because when you have individuals doing that to the point that they're running to their YouTuber and their Twitch streamer boyfriends, like that in the case of Rebecca, who is the girlfriend of, I wouldn't say popular Twitch streamer, he's pretty much a fucking mid-level 3-figure Andy, by the name of Scooch. When you have her running to him because he's trying to talk shit to Zerse, Bass FZZZ, because he's making the point like, listen bro, your girlfriend looks good, and she, like, I'd fuck her, but I wouldn't date her. He's throwing a fucking bitch fit with a secret drama stream on YouTube and Twitch to try and benefit from it, but then he's scared to talk about it in public because he's like, listen bro, I got my own porn, but you're not out there showing you Ghibli bits now, are you, Scooch? No, you're getting hard stuck in Gold 3 on League of Legends because you don't know how Kale works. You don't have the room to speak on the issue. You shouldn't be speaking at all about it because your girlfriend is as guilty as parasocial relationships are as everybody else is. You probably should not be talking about that in that way, especially not while you're playing, especially not while you're playing League, but definitely not on Twitch. Where are you now on this topic? Lord forbid your girlfriend be the one doing this meta streamer. How do you feel about that? How would you feel about that, men who are dating these women? Do you like the fact that your girlfriend is only able to put money on the table because they like her body? The usual answer you would expect is, of course, yes. I'm the one who gets to have access to it. But when you're out in public and somebody tries to reach out for her titty, be like, hey, yo, Melina, nice tits, B! You gonna stop his hand? He's a paid sub. He paid for them tits. Give him the feel. Let him get a squeeze, bro. What's the problem? It's all good, right? You don't want to get some fucking at the end of the day, right? Obviously, the answer there that I'm getting to is no, chat. It isn't acceptable. There is very clearly a boundary that has to exist between content creator, content, and consumer. So why is it acceptable for it to have gone this far? The obvious answer is because Twitch is benefiting from it. These women bring money to the website. They're going to keep them employed by not banning them, because if they ban them, they lose access to that money. They're going to allow the meta to continue because it benefits them. It's politically expedient in the sense that they always do it for the sense of women don't have rights, so I got to show my tits. And then financially expedient and financially lucrative because, damn, because they're showing tits and because they're showing body, we're benefiting from that because we're taking 50% of the money. I mean, shit, when they get paid, we get paid. Fuck these guys. We don't have a moral standard value to make sure that kids aren't paying for this. We don't have a moral standard value to make sure that this isn't on the website, even though this is supposed to be, quote, a gaming website. I don't know, unless we have the ability to start adding in Lavange sense, ability to have them have a fucking vibrator in there too. Maybe it won't truly be playing with power with their joysticks while they're playing on stream, behind the stream with their joysticks. Maybe until then we won't see a thing. It's a very easy open shut case, but as far as in our world, we're the ones that see it and we're the ones speaking about it within that bubble because it hasn't broke true containment yet, Aiden. When this shit breaks containment, when Good Morning America is telling moms and dads of the world the same way my mom gets her fucking news watching it on Channel 8, Channel 9 in their local area, when Local on the 8s on the Weather Channel makes mention of people being topless on the internet making money on Twitch, that's when this shit's gonna get real quick. When you start hearing people on the Senate floor
that's been happening
talking
for
about
years, though, and I don't think that I guess Twitch just doesn't care.
They just don't care,
I have to
realistically.
imagine it's just because of they're owned by Amazon that
I guess. they're
They
because
just get away with it?
Because they're underneath the Amazon umbrella, and because people basically see Twitch as like, it's who is Twitch, but they're literally the streaming broadcast standard for what people go to. Whenever somebody talks about broadcasters, they're always talking about a Twitch broadcaster. They're very rarely talking about YouTube broadcasters unless they're mentioning Dr. Disrespect. They only see it as that. They see it as the streaming website, so they put it off into the side of their head. But there are more people going viral on YouTube than there are on Twitch. And people now who have been streaming Kick, they've also been going viral and getting more fucking subs off of there. Because, at least for them, they're going there, and there is a perception that, in Kick's case, it's a gambling site. Realistically, no. It's an option in your contract if you want it. There are plenty of streams where Devin Nash talking to Destiny has explained it, where Trainwreck TV has explained it, especially on his on the return of the Trainwreck podcast, on the Scuffed podcast. It's been a whole entire thing that they've liked to cope about, because before, months back, you had people like fucking Pokemon claiming actually Twitch is owned by Kick, and Kick is owned by Twitch. They're the same. They're not. They just use the AWS software on the back end of Twitch that they own. So they have the ability to stream using the same broadcast software. And they're upset about that, which is what was confusing to me about fucking Amaranth coming back to Twitch. Like, why are you there? Didn't you make an entire point of going off to Kick so that you could use that stream? But then again, she can cross-platform the shit
like,
now.
Oh, no,
so
but
I guess it
it's
doesn't matter.
White supremacist platform. Yeah, I loved how she backtracked on that shit. That was funny.
It's fucking weird. But like that entire perspective, at least between YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, which I think are the only three ones that matter, the only ones three that are standing. YouTube, not YouTube Live. Facebook Live doesn't fucking matter. No one is streaming on Facebook Live. That matters. Technically, niece of YouTube fame for fucking League of Legends was using it, but that's mostly because he was trying to escape the fucking coming fire of him playing live on air and being attributed by all the people who were criticizing him for basically running a really bad coaching session and a really bad coaching program. That's beside the point. Those three platforms, YouTube, Kick, and Twitch, are the only three that matter. But because there aren't enough major broadcast streamers that are going viral, the ones that get soft top air is usually people like Hassan Piker, because he's not a gamer, he's more a political person. They only ever hear of Twitch through Twitch politics. And Twitch politics on Twitch is dead, I'm pretty sure. Like, ever since Dylan Burns had to stop Hippy Dippy Championship, you haven't heard a single thing from these people unless they have a really crazy fucking lefty take, because again, they're all in their Fortress arc because they're scared of getting clipped out of context, or even clipped in context because of this shit. But at the same time, they only go viral when they have a really crazy take because they're all fucking crazy leftists at the fucking most part, which is sad and unfortunate. And following off of Deus, who's in the chat on Twitch, then there's the streamers who put up a literal streaming pipeline to have the audacity to say that it's not pornographic. That's the Twitch to fucking OnlyFans pipeline. There are actually many pipelines. It's just that there are multiple pipelines to put them in the content, because that's how they have to have it. Because if they put it in the stream title, they can get banned. If they have it as a link in the chat, they can get banned, but they don't get policed enough because Twitch knows how they make their money. The women can never make porn by just being there with the tits out, coochies out, pumped up, even when they'll guide themselves to the streams of the porn sites. They'll never release the audience stats, because when the 13-year-olds are allowed on the website, but no 13-year-olds are on there, it'll be an entire thing, because if they reveal that shit, it's going to be an issue, because once they reveal how many kids are on the platform, you're going to hear a giant moral panic about whether or not it's a big problem that they have to contest on. And then that's when you're going to start hearing the Senate hearing saying, we need to do something for this. Realistically, they don't need to do shit. What needs to be done is the CEO needs to get all the employees and say, we don't do shit like this no more. We cracked down on this today.
The employees would go against him, even if he said that.
Okay, fire him! Fire him! Get out! Replace him!
Though, because they're all these DEI hires, and they'll revolt, and then they'll sue and be like, oh, it's a racism, it's a sexism.
Realistically, what they just got to do is
honestly, I want to see that happen. I want to see that.
What has to happen is they got to get fired. They got to get fired, because all the DEI people, you paper them out the door. That's what you need to do.
They're completely useless.
Like, give them some topic, give them some fucking project that they need to work on that is related to the censorship issue, and have them come up with a name of all the people who have been guilty of it within the last year. I would say 6 months if you really want to be conservative, but I would say last year. Because if I were a CEO, what I would do, I'd go into the company, goodbye Aqua, go into the company, go to the management departments, go to the secret, behind-the-board trust and safety team who's responsible for all the shit, and I would tell them, Give me a name of every single streamer that has been banned within the year for something dealing with sexual explicit content. And pick a day on the calendar after this change has been made that we're going to go through each one of these names and we're going to look through the past VODs in the past 30 days. If we see more than 5 streams, technically I have to say if we see more than 2 streams or 3 streams, but let's be conservative in the number. If I see 5 streams of them where they've been streaming titty and they've been trying to play the meta, ban them permanently. Never revert the ban.
They should be.
Ban them permanently, never revert the ban. And when they ask, why did I ban them? Have the CEO get on screen and say, no, we have banned you because every single time you have gone live, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 encounters of you doing this. I do not allow this policy here. You are going to be banned. You will not be receiving the ad revenue. That money will instead be donated to the people who are being mostly harmed by this. Send it to a donation, put it into a pot that at the end of the year, they're just going to start raffling the money away to organizations that need it and want it. Or shit, give it to fucking Doctors Without Borders or St. Jude's. Give it to somebody who needs it, because they don't need it. And when they throw a fit and they bitch and they whine and they moan and they say, no, you can't harass, you can't ban this. Look, I built a platform here. I built a community here. You tell them, okay, you should have no problem landing on your feet then. But we're not going to allow that on Twitch. And then,
of course not.
And then, from there, you start making it a job that every single time that you actually see real clips of a person going viral, real things of people doing shit, that you start promoting those streams by not having the categories based on fucking number hypes. Because the biggest problem with Twitch is that you never see the shit or never hear about the shit because you don't see those people going. It is an issue that you can't really fix for there, but the best way to do that is to actually start using the algorithms that exist on YouTube. Start promulgating the algorithms to people where they can have the ability to rise in the metrics if they actually show development on the stream. Have the ability to feature these people. Have the ability to run contests and events. Start running more shit like Twitch Rivals. Start having things where people can submit themselves to do the shit so they can actually have camaraderie and meet new people. Have the ability to have meet and greets, not just at TwitchCon, but at all places. Start having these things possible. And then, when that shit happens, stand firm, because he's gonna get pushback. Whatever person is to do it is gonna get pushback, but he has to weather the storm. He has to stay firm. Stay firm. He has to stay firm, and he has to say, no, I will not let there be porn on this platform. If you're male, if you're female, if you're transgender, or if you're a VTuber, I will ban you permanently. I will not have it. We will not do it. Because if he holds that standard, and that shit goes viral, and they get upset and mad, and they try to go to all the other platforms, and they have to start having those scenes. Because what I want to see is I want to see those streams where those girls go out, and they're losing their fucking money. They can see the fucking unsub messages come through. They can see their bank accounts getting lower and lower and lower every month. I want to see the streams of them saying, oh my god, I was making so much money on Twitch, and now it's all over. I have to go back and get a real job. I have to go back to the fucking Money Pits of Apex Legends wearing low-cut shirts. Oh my god, I can't believe this! I want to be there when that shit happens, and I want to cackle like a fucking gremlin, because that will be the day that people will have the ability to see they didn't care about the shit, and now that they're made to care, they're going to either learn or they're going to leave. And when you start seeing all of those top favorite streamers that are always at the streamings, that are always palling around in people as a fucking brigade around people like that, of fucking Hassan Piker, like Denims and wall shit, these fucking people who are brain dead as fuck, that have horrible takes, that steal just as much content as the rest of them, when you see them disappear overnight, you'll begin to realize, oh wow, this platform was actually pretty much dead internet theory. 100% confirmed. When you start seeing them molding on Reddit, because oh boy, they will be molding on Reddit. They will be molding on Reddit. They'll be molding on LSF. They'll be molding in the personal discords and the personal fucking subreddits of those broadcasters' pages. They'll be trying and saying, oh my god, authoritarianism. I can't believe they did this. It's unacceptable. It's not acceptable. But it's like, what is this doing? What does this provide us? What does the Twitch meta of nudity and sexuality provide us, except an example for everybody to basically feel depressed that when they say, hey yo, I'm a broadcaster, where do you stream on? I stream on YouTube, I stream on Rumble, I stream on Kick, and I stream on Twitch. And you mention Twitch, it's like, oh, you mean that place where they have the porn sites? I'm like, I'm not one of those streamers, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to have that conversation. We shouldn't need to have the conversation. It shouldn't even come up. But it does, because that's what we've made. So somebody has to
you made it.
that.
Like, you've made it this way. And then...
and then the worst part is, the way that it exists now, because they're so scared to go full in and just make a Twitch at night section. Whether you have to... whether or not you're able to make an account on it, or not, if it was me,
make it 18 plus, make it so that in order to have an account on Twitch at night, you must have credit card information. You are only able to access the streamers that you sub to. You can have like an ad, you can get like a little fucking introduction blurb and like a little snippet of the stream, like a sample, but you actually have to pay to sub to them in order to see the content. The second that they try to do something like that, they're going to realize the majority of people that they're getting the subs from are going to be underage, and if they are underage, they're paying you with mommy and daddy's money from their Amazon Primes. And they're going to start restricting the money there. If PayPal and Stripe were to hear about that, they'd take away the fucking payment processing transactions for it, or they would have to convert it and make it a higher rate because it comes with a higher risk of chargebacks. Because that's the nature of porn content. People pay to get the porn, then they charge back because they've already stolen all the content by downloading it illegally, and then they reshare it for free everywhere. The thing that they always hate having happen, but they never like to tell the truth about because that's the actual truth behind porn content. That's why you girls should make it. You'll put your shit out there, you'll hope that you'll get like $5,000, but you're only getting $50, and now everybody at your job has seen you cooter. That's reality. I'm sorry to tell you, I know it from history, I worked as the Fed, I dealt with this shit. It was probably the worst form of revenge porn that I had to deal with, was people who had boyfriends that found out their girlfriends were doing porn behind the scenes, and then they spread the shit out there. It was horrible. That's the reality that we're trying to protect people from. Because it sounds like morals, but it's responsibility. It's a societal responsibility. It's the responsibility of the broadcasters. It's the responsibility of the audience. It's the responsibility of the potential audience. It's the responsibility of the platform not even allowing the barricade to be brought down for that. And then it's the further continued responsibility for everybody to keep the position above where it is. Because it can only get worse if you let it get worse. Because you guys never cared, you kept bringing it down. And bringing it down. And bringing it down. And every single time it was brought down, it's like, who cares? It's just women showing their body. Who cares? It's just women breastfeeding. But I don't care about the breastfeeding issue.
You know what?
I super didn't care about it.
Because you can 13 years old to sign up for Twitch. That's why I care. Look, you want to put porn on the internet? Fine. Go to Pornhub. Put your porn all over the fucking place wherever you want. But the reality is, and I believe it was, I think Venti said this, a whole bunch of people have said this, is that, look, if they know, these women know for a fact that, yeah, they could make money by putting their porn online normally, but they can't get the 13-year-old audience. That's what they want. They want the 13-year-olds with mommy and daddy's credit card who are going to be like, oh, because they don't know what pornography is really yet. So they're just like, they're... and it's right there where they go to watch video games. So yeah, that's what this is about. That's what it's about. That's how they get attention. You'd have no attention if you were on Pornhub. You would have none of this. A fraction of the views.
It's like they
if you were on a porn website.
It's like they go there for the tits and then they switch off a stream, or they have another tab open watching the finals and they're watching the titty at the same time. Like it's the matter of convenience for the viewer, and also the matter of convenience and the monetization for the broadcaster. Until there is an answer to, will you do something about this, and will you address the people doing it, there's nothing that can be done. Because it doesn't matter if you do a call-in about it, it doesn't matter if you hold a panel about it, you need to say, will you allow this to continue happening, yes or no? And if if the fucking CEO won't do it, it'll continue being like this in perpetuity. And if that's how it is, then by all means, you have the titty, and I'm going to talk about the titty. I'm gonna talk about the titty. You gonna get paid. I'm gonna get paid off your titty, and you gonna hate it. But I'm gonna keep doing it because if that's the meta, I would be. If it's business people. If we're speaking about this specifically as like businessmen and businesswomen, if it benefits me to talk about it the same way that it benefits Bo Blacks to talk about it, and all he does is retweets, what do you have to say to get mad about that? You're still making your money. I'm not stopping you. By all means, girl, take a tit. Like, by all means, baby, take your tits out. That's what it feels like for me and for everybody else talking about it. We're just on the sideline with cameras being like, hey, yo, these are wildin'. But you come to me and it's like, bro, you can't record that. I'm like, I can't record it, but she can keep doing it. It's only fuck you. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Hey, yo, baby, shake it to the camera. Show them your black hole. That's what we have to do. If we have to shame them by exposing them, that's probably the best tactic. Because at the end of the day the question that I would have, if they're like, listen, Carl, you can't talk about these things. Why can't I talk about them? Because you don't like it? It's unacceptable. You're taking advantage of these people. No, I'm not. They're doing it of their own volition.
They are grown men and women. They can do whatever they want, and I can do whatever I want. That's the beauty of it, Pokimane. That's the beauty of it. You can do what you want with your time. I can do what I want with my time. And if I blow up because I'm showing your body on screen, you can't complain about that because you put it there. I wouldn't have had access to it if you didn't put it there. You put it there. So what do you have to complain about? Oh, I'm not allowed to do it? Why am I not allowed to do it? Because I'm male? I don't give a shit. I already have somebody who loved me. Bitch, I know I'm beautiful. She loved me because I'm beautiful. You can't say that I can't get something because I have it. And even if I wasn't married, you still wouldn't be able to use that as an argument. Because then what about all the married men and women who have multiple families of children? What about all the women who are single who don't need to worry about having a man to justify doing it? What about all the people who don't show the sexual content on screen are still going to look at you sideways? You can't say anything there. Because the only way that we can correct for this kind of thing, in my opinion, is you need to put them on the spot. You need to make sure that they're in the thumbnail. You need to make sure that you lead with that content. You need to make sure you have that. Chud Logic has the correct position on this. Realistically, he's smarter than I am when it comes to it. He's willing to do the shit that I did only because I did not give a shit about the issue. I did not care in the sense that it wasn't a personal effect to me. It's that I didn't want to keep up with the drama because I don't see a reason to keep up with the drama side. But this ain't drama. This is meaningful news. We gotta put it on screen. You guys are affecting the policy of the platform. We gotta talk about it. So yeah, that's my end of the day. For those who don't know what my position is, at the end of the day, TLDR, I don't care that you're streaming the titty on the platform. What I care is that you're streaming the titty on the platform and you're trying to expose yourself to kids while you do it. If you can confirm, if you have a hard set...
That's my big issue. I wouldn't care if you were doing this on some other site, but you want to do it because you know that children... This is the thing. Do you think that these women even know? I think that they're just money hungry and they don't even realize what they're doing. Some of them, if you have an IQ of above, like, I don't know, room temperature, though, you know that the reason why you're doing it here is because you know that kids are going to see it, and you know kids are very easily addicted. They get addicted to stuff very easily. That's why you're doing it. And that's really disgusting.
I would say, if I had to put a predictive number on it in terms of a percentage, the percentage of the men and women who know what they're doing, and specifically the women who know what they're doing, I would say it's 70-30. 70-30 of the women know that their audience is made up of young men. They know that it's made up of either children, horny coomers, young boys, or people who feel like they're doing something dirty that won't just go watch porn. And they want to keep them there, so they try to say the people who are criticizing them for it are just jealous, because then they tell their audience, subconsciously or outright directly, you don't have to listen to them. They're just jealous between what we have.
Yeah, they're just jealous. I mean, like that. Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, just the. It's always what it is. It's just like, even if you, as another woman, just like being critical of it, it's like, oh, well, you're just jealous. You're just jealous. You're fat. You're ugly. That's why you don't like it. No, excuse me. No, I don't like showing pornography to children. That's my issue. And the fact that they don't understand that, they do understand it. The people who are defending these women, they absolutely understand it. They're just they're lying. They're lying to themselves and they're lying to other people in order to try and, I don't know, get away with it, essentially.
And at the end of the day, the other 30%, I think it's more of an issue of it's not real to them until a horny coomer of their audience comes up to them and tries to touch them. It doesn't become real for them until they realize, actually, I can't keep them behind a chat room screen. These guys want to see me in person tonight. When they start doing it in public, they start walking up to them at events. It's not, oh my God, I love you. Can I take a picture with you? When it's, they reach behind you and they try to get that, they try to do that one maneuver. I don't know.
Hate that shit. They
do that.
Yeah, they'll call their security.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I need help.
Like,
when a gross guy here.
When it becomes that real, suddenly they become the self-hating feminists that hate their audiences. Suddenly they start covering themselves up because, oh my God, I can't believe. But then when you ask them the question, so why were you doing it in the first place? It's like, because it was empowering. No, it was profitable. It was profitable. You stopped doing it because once he started fucking putting that finger in the back and he tried to put two in the paint, one in the stink, and he felt entitled to it because he paid for it, suddenly you start saying, how dare these men be this gross and nasty?
And it's worse if they have a boyfriend at the time they're doing it. Boyfriend or a husband. I think it's worse when it's the husband, because that means you know that's what your wife does for money, and you have to be okay with it, because you know that if you say no, you'll possibly end up homeless or broke, which is always a concern for anybody. But to stay away from the red pill side of it, because this has nothing to do with the red pill, because I can already see it right now. I can already see right now people like Stardust are live talking about it for the Whatever podcast, because they've been running a train on the fucking Destiny Melina news. I don't care about the Destiny Melina news. She's not my wife, bro.
I mean, I've said what I've had to say about it, which is that, look, first of all, I like Destiny. I feel bad for him, but holy shit, dude, what a bad move. Like, you should never have married that woman.
It's fucked up as hell. I feel bad for him. I hope he learns to choose better in the future.
What a bad move.
But
like, you should never have.
It ultimately boils down to they know, but they don't want to know the extent. So if they end up learning the extent, they might pivot, they might change, they might just keep doing it and then become just one of those meaningless fucking soulless harpies that are willing to take their money because even at the end of the day, even if they're grown adults, there should still be some limitation of other people keeping them from doing it. Someone's got to be the one that's that black guy from that one fucking promotional ad of Gillette being like, listen, bro, you don't know. This ain't the take, bro. You shouldn't be doing this. Someone's got to be the one to do that.
I hope that because Destiny, the only thing that I have an actual issue with regarding that is that he's been a really big proponent of open marriages and this kind of stuff. And it's like, I hope you at least adjust your takes there, Steven. You know, I just hope you adjust your takes, having now lived through it, of knowing that, like, no, not only does that stuff not work, so it's not something you should sell to your audience. Many of them are very young, but also that, yeah, it's not something that works. Open relationships don't work. They just don't. I hope you figured that out, man. I'm sorry you had to learn it in such a really horrific way. Like, as a full-ass grown adult, too, you know? Like, but, yeah, don't promote that stuff. Don't tell people that can work, because guess what? It doesn't. It can't work. It just really can't. I mean, I mean, what did you expect was going to happen? Of course she was going to cheat on you. Of course she was going to leave you for some Swedish twink.
That part, I think, is the worst part of all, because, like, I would hope it's a muscular. No, he's a twink. No. He's a fart fetishist. That's You'd hate... It's a I think the worst part for him... I think the worst part for it is that because he went so hard against the red pill, which shouldn't even be a fucking factor. Because I wouldn't say that he promotes open relationships and open marriages. I think that for him and his style of relationship, he doesn't care. Because this has been something that Destiny has talked about frequently all the time. It's less that he promotes people should be like him, but it is instead, if he does it, he does not care if you make non-stop endless jokes about it, up until the point that he basically, if you're a personal friend of his, if he has to deal with the shit from you and you're on a podcast with him and you're like, hey, yo, bro, how's the wife? He's not gonna soy out. He's gonna have jokes. He's gonna have some pushback. He's gonna have some shit. Because for him, monogamy does not work. Straight up. It just doesn't work for him.
I mean, that makes sense.
He likes to do the thing,
look,
and he can afford it.
He's got bitches on his dick, like, all the time. And I get that, you know?
So for him, it just works for him. I'm not the dude, but I have watched enough of his content to know that's his position. For him, the issue is that at the end of the day, he wants to try to limit how he is getting those things. Because he's now admitted that Melina is probably one of the more toxic relationships he's had. But it's not an element of, she was using me the entire time. It's more like, no, these were things that I should have paid attention to, that I should have handled at the time, and I didn't, and now this shit's happening. And how that plays into the red pill is that the red pill, he had been pushing back against, calling them fucking freaks, calling them nerds, calling them losers. And they are!
Yeah, let's be clear about that.
And now...
Bitch, I'm adorable.
And now, they have gotten to the point where you have Fresh and Fit using him, you have Ethnic Signifier using him, as a way to say, look, you were pushing back against him the entire time, and now you look stupid. Which I find is weird. Because I know why Myron has to do it. I know why Saint the Sinner would want to do it, because he's shoved both of their shits in on a regular basis. But when it comes to FT Signifier, wouldn't you want to say, actually, it's bad that happened to you? But, of course, he doesn't care, because it's all about, I hate Destiny, because how dare you, God Seeker. But
yeah, I have to interject for a second. I have to kind of check Aiden here. Destiny does not in any way, shape, or form promote polygamy to his audience or polyamorous relationships. He flat out says, yeah, this stuff doesn't work for everybody. I wouldn't suggest doing it, but this is the style that I prefer because I don't like monogamy. So he said that like every single time I watched something about him talking about it.
Yeah,
that's
and
what
I've
he
heard
said
him
every
say
time.
that too. I've heard him say that too. But when I say promote, I mean it's an indirect promotion of being like, well, if it's working for me, then
when you say promote,
that's not promotion.
Hold
that's
on,
not promotion.
Hold on,
I guess so.
Aiden,
No, you're right. You're probably right.
When you say promote, do you mean expose? Because he's discussing the topic, it exposes them to the idea.
Okay, let's say exposing. Let's say exposing then. That's probably more accurate.
Yeah, because when you say promote, it means like you're telling your audience flat out, like explicitly.
I know he doesn't tell them to do it, and in fact, I think he's told them explicitly not to do it.
He
like
has.
Said,
that's why I had to bring it up because like.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
but it's like I just because he has said like yeah, I know it works for him, and I can see like though if you're like a young person watching that, why you would think like, oh hey, like look, yeah, I can have a woman, another woman, another woman, and like and we can all fuck all the time. And it's like it doesn't work ever though. That's the problem with that polygamy stuff. It never works, or not polygamy, excuse me. The polyamory.
And he says that he says that it doesn't always work. It usually doesn't work, which he said over and over and over again. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because that was
right. All right. Yeah.
I'll go back
thank
to
you.
Cheesecake. Bye guys.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, thank you for checking me because that is correct. Like he has said that explicitly, like that he's not telling other people to do it. That is so yeah. In terms of like, is it exposure versus promotion? I guess it's more just exposure rather than promotion. That's a better way of phrasing it. Because yeah, he has said that plenty of times that he wouldn't recommend other people do, or like it's not that he just says wouldn't even recommend it. It's like you have to like. It has very specific circumstances. This doesn't work for most people. Probably doesn't work for almost all relationships. But unfortunately, I think it doesn't work for any. And so I just think even putting it out there might not be the best thing. But I mean, now, unfortunately or unfortunately, I guess, fortunately for my side, which is that I don't think that it ever works. His whole audience has been exposed to, speaking of exposure, exactly how it does not work and what happens. And Jesus Christ! Now she's like asking him for. I was shocked by some of the information about this case, in that he the whole time was paying for her to have a place to live in Sweden, and her boyfriend was living there the whole time. Do I have that wrong? What the fuck?
It's fucked up all on the way, and there's more to talk about the Destiny argument, but not for today's stream. Ultimately, the sign-off that I'll give when it comes to the subject of Twitch meta is that the only thing that we can do until someone's willing to have a hard stance and put their fucking foot down and start making these individuals, one, either put some fucking clothes on, or two, kick them off the platform, or three, start having to go to the fucking Congress meeting and be like, listen, I have a company that I am responsible for. I have a fiduciary duty. And they need to make sure they use that word very big, because shareholders need to hear that word used. I, as the CEO of this company, that I was put in this position by the shareholders, replacing the former person who allowed it to fall to the position, I have a fiduciary duty to get these titties off the timeline. And I can't do that because my company will not let me. So I need you to help me do that job by exposing this news. I will make sure that the stock price of those websites will eventually rise by first getting these people to act accordingly. They need to make sure that each one of those broadcasters goes viral, but not in the good way. And so that when it goes viral and they start losing fucking subs because they start getting the fucking brigades that come with it, because it's not going to be brigades from other users. It's going to be brigades from users who have never seen the platform. They're going to see it, and it's going to become a whole fucking thing. They need to make it so that it happens like that. And until that day comes, it is my job as a content creator and as a independent journalist to make sure you see them titties tonight.
It is my job to make sure you know the up-and-coming news about everything possible, especially the Twitch meta. Because Lord forbid you miss out on your favorite titties, boys. Lord forbid you miss out on your favorite titties. And on that point, and on that note, I will have to say, that is enough from us tonight. Thank you for everybody who's come through. Thank you, Aiden. Thank you to my moderator. Thank you to the audience. Thank you to Jay. I made sure to thank her as she was leaving in DMs. And thank you, new person. And make sure that you tell them too that this is some shit for which up you will not put if there is not enough N-words. I am SinglePlayerCarl. And I will see y'all next time. Come back soon. We will have more shit cooking up for you on the next VsChat. I'm going to take y'all off. I'm going to see y'all next time. I got to make dinner. And then I'll be back in like 3 hours.
Yep.
I will see y'all soon.
Cheers. Good night.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Righto then.
Bye. Remember, like, subscribe, share it to your friends. YouTube, Twitch, and I'm pretty sure Twitter as well. Links on the screen. You can hit me up in the DMs if you mad about it. I'ma see y'all.